when he blinks as his vision clears, revealing soft sand right beneath his feet. Massive marble and concrete walls tower around him under a pale, distant sun. Just moments ago, he was walking through Seoul when a sharp pain hit his brain. He collapsed alongside everyone else. Now he is suddenly here, hungry and completely alone. He has no clue how he arrived. Suddenly, a warped, amused voice echoes in his ears. Unfamiliar text crawls before his eyes as the main god welcomes him to this labyrinth. He is trapped, ordered to survive using nothing but his wisdom, courage, and luck. The rules unfold, detailing endless passages. Every single room has 6 exits. Picking any direction sends him forward, instantly sealing the path forever behind him. No turning back, he can only enter 10 rooms a day, each holding different encounters. Supplies, monsters, or rival players wait inside, and those encounters will decide his fate. A day and night cycle exists, and he receives a basic game interface and base. The system screen fades. He is left with a chilling final command: strive to survive. Standing entirely alone on the dry sand, he lets out a quiet, bitter laugh. He was on his way to meet a beautiful woman in Seoul to practice fencing. But before checking in, this god dragged him here. He screams at the empty sky. He demands to go home, swearing he will stop messing around, but nobody answers. In the web novels he read, supreme gods usually ran cool reincarnation teams. They did not run some cheap, brutal labyrinth game like this twisted setup. The mastermind must be a smug lunatic. He sighs and opens his starter interface. Inside his inventory, he finds a rusty iron shovel and a cheap base remote. The shovel's dry description mockingly claims that it will probably outlast him. Meanwhile, the remote promises him a glorious palace and a massive harem. The main god's sarcasm drips from every word, confirming he's a complete jerk. Sitting in the sand, he reviews his status: 0 rooms cleared and full health. He is level 1 with 0 experience. A chat panel flickers in the corner. The world and regional channels are open, allowing only 1 message per day. The menu lists recipes like bread, requiring 50 grams of flour and water. A knife needs 1 stone, while a spear requires 2 pieces of wood. Crafting needs actual physical materials, and rare items will require rare blueprints. He must scavenge to survive. Meanwhile, the world chat is descending into absolute chaos. Desperate players cry about death games. Some pray, while others mock their faith. A third person calls this what it is: a death game. He's totally right, you know. None of this helps him. He needs a cold strategy, no useless panic. The regional channel has exactly 1,000 players. A user named Nickel suggests tapping. Sansiel warns that these stone walls are indestructible and totally soundproof. A guy named Byung laughs, cursing his old boss and celebrating his freedom. Everyone remains at level 1. Absolutely nobody is moving. He glances around the quiet room. His instincts tell him to wait and let others go first. Charging ahead is a death sentence. This is not survival, it is execution. That settles it. He resolves to be extremely cautious. He pulls out the remote. Pressing the switch, a battered, old thatched hut suddenly materializes in front of him. This temporary shelter is drafty and falling apart, but it will do the job. Inside, he can store items, which shrink down automatically to save space. Whenever heavy exhaustion hits, he can easily retreat here to rest and stay safe. Upgrading the base will expand it, unlocking awesome stuff like farmland. Production rooms and defenses. Closing the screen, he sits on the sand, watching the sky dim as heavy hunger sets in. Going without food or water for hours is pretty brutal for a modern guy. Unpleasant, the global chat is absolutely flooded with complaints. Bok-do offers a $1,000,000 post-game for a single slice of bread. Gang Hae is freezing to death in a snow room, while Chun-woo begs everyone to start moving. Nobody actually moves. Our main character steels himself and stands right up. He has to act. Staying put is way worse than risking the next room. If there is a monster inside, he still has enough stamina to fight. He steps toward the front passage. Suddenly, glowing text shimmers into view. The magical prompt warns that this front passage drops him directly into a freezing room of snow, since he is only wearing thin summer clothes. He might freeze to death. He stops dead in his tracks, staring. His mind quickly catches up. This magical system is telling him exactly what is inside before he even steps through. He memorizes the warning. Half worried the glowing words will disappear, but the prompt stays completely put. In fact, new prompts appear as he checks each passage. The left one holds a venomous snake and wood, even though he has eaten snake meat before. Catching a wild, deadly serpent is way too risky for him right now. The right passage leads to more desert, filled with fast lizards he might capture if his skills were decent, but they are not. Rear path, empty. The top path has basic food and water, but the bottom passage holds safe water, food, and extra resources. All 6 paths show prompts, but this lower one is clearly the jackpot. He checks the world chat to see if anyone else has this cheat code, and trust me, they absolutely do not. Other players are rushing in blind, getting stung, or finding nothing but dead desert. Only he can see these golden prompts. He narrows things down to 3 options. Waiting to starve is out. Guessing blindly is out. His luck is usually terrible anyway. Trusting the lower passage prompt is the only way. If it works, he gets food. If not, he knows the system is fake. Closing his eyes, he takes a deep breath and steps straight down. Instantly, he realizes the golden hint was completely right about what lay ahead. Dark stairs spiral down, reaching the door at the bottom. Another warning pops up. If he rushes straight through, he will suffer a nasty fall. The doorway sits over 3 meters above the room floor. He cracks the door carefully. With his back braced, peering out, he spots a small forest containing a stone chest wrapped in thick vines. He pulls his foot back just in time, jumps down cautiously, taking only minor fall damage, and runs over. The system identifies the container as a basic stone chest, the lowest tier. 2 levels below an iron chest. Opening it will yield simple starter supplies. He tries to pry it open, but nothing budges. Thick, heavy vines secure the container, binding it so tightly he cannot tear them free. Then, a prompt mocks him for completely forgetting to use his shovel first. He slaps his forehead, pulls out the shovel, and easily slices through the vines. The system alerts. It rewards him with 3 vines. They are perfect for binding traps, making ropes, or even weirder things. He just completely ignores that bizarre part. Closes the screen and pops open the chest to find 3 bottles of Yahaha water and 500 grams of rice. The system then drops a pretty useful tip about the stone chest. It fits in his pack for 3 precious slots. He can also break it down for stone or keep it as home decor. To store 20 items inside his base, the system calls the chest ugly and tells him to scrap it, but he wants some actual furniture in his hut. So he summons his base. He shoves the heavy chest right inside. He tries to craft some food, but the screen warns him that he has no water. After swearing a bit, he realizes the bottled water can be broken down into 500 milliliters of water and an empty bottle. He disassembles one and crafts the rice. A warm rice ball instantly drops right into his backpack. He eats it immediately, holding it tight, feeling a gentle warmth spread through him. It feels incredibly good. One is simply not enough, so he eats another. Honestly, plain rice has never tasted this absolutely amazing in his entire life before. With his hunger finally sorted out, he looks at those vines again. Talk about a hoarder's dream. Everything in this world is a resource. He pulls his shovel back out to chop down a massive tree, and yep, it drops wood. The smaller ones, they are only good for basic firewood. He stands there and keeps harvesting, grabbing every single material he can find. He strips the place bare, though the wild grass turns out to be worthless. With the sun setting, he needs some light, so he checks his crafting recipes. A basic torch takes 1 wood, and it burns for 10 full minutes. He makes one. His current haul is 4 wood, 2 waters, and some more liquid. An empty bottle, 350 grams of rice, some vines, and firewood. Along with the stone chest, his pack has 10 slots, so he stores the bulk. Inside the chest, he is well fed, resting only when his body completely crashes. Right as he is about to move on, a new system message pops up. The stone hidden under that giant tree root is apparently very unusual. It is incredibly tough, and since he did not bother digging the roots earlier, he almost missed it entirely. He plants his torch firmly in the dirt, digs out the strange stone, and finds a beautiful piece of pure white quartz. It is ice cold to the touch and described as an exceptionally tough material. Great for construction or crafting. The next prompt gives him an idea. He can use this quartz to build a lethal spear for hunting monsters. The recipe requires 2 pieces of wood and 1 stone, noting that harder minerals make a far deadlier weapon, with the system snarking about using diamonds. Suddenly, a massive 2-meter stone spear materializes directly in his hand. It is taller than he is, and the heavy weight feels incredibly reassuring. If another snake attacks him, he can literally just impale the thing. He stashes the weapon and walks around the room, opening the global chat. Turns out, not everyone is having such a smooth survival experience. Most are paralyzed in front of doors or literally roasting to death, crying about how useless dirt and basic debris are in this hellhole. And the 10-slot backpack really forces some tough choices about what he can keep. The regional chat is far more useful, with Gina offering to be a girlfriend for food. Hongwoo warns everyone that the downward passage drops you a long way, and he has hurt himself badly. Richard advises everyone to camp until sunrise. Without a torch, from these day and night warnings, he gathers that monster activity follows a cycle, meaning night might offer him opportunities against dangerous creatures. Resting in the dark, those survivalists with system prompts are living a completely different game from those without. He paces the room a few more times without seeing anything new. The original path is sealed. 5 directions are open, with prompts attached to each choice. The room ahead contains nothing but poor plateau. Soil barely edible during a famine and hard to digest. The room behind holds a pack of wild boars. He could kill one, but the entire pack would devour him. The left room has a pool with fish he cannot reach because his swimming is bad, though he can at least gather some water. The right room has a wooden chest. Finding it requires some skill, and the contents may surprise. The lower room has food, but the doorway is 3 meters off the ground, with no way up. Without hesitating, he picks the right room and heads toward the wooden chest. Since the prompt has already proven its worth, this right room is a set of weathered ruins with stones crumbling at a touch, rusted weapons, and broken human bones scattered everywhere. The whole place gives him a chill, but he pushes through to search, picking up a human skull, which the system recommends using as a wine cup, an intact porcelain bowl, and bricks for upgrading his base. He will not touch the bones beyond glancing at them. The wooden chest is nowhere visible. Suddenly, new prompts begin feeding him directions to walk forward to the central area. Look for a stone gate, but do not rush in or loose stones will collapse on him. He finds the gate, and the next prompt points out a small, weathered red stone on the right side of the gate that he should shatter to bring the whole thing down in a controlled collapse. He strikes with his shovel. The small stone shatters and the gate trembles, triggering a chain reaction. He retreats fast, watching the stones crash down in a cloud of dust, and walks into the inner space where system prompts guide him to a pile of bones hiding a wooden chest beneath them. But before he can reach in, a fresh prompt stops him cold. The prompt asks him if he knows why so many human bones are piled on top of this wooden chest, and answers its own question: because those fellows are all dead. The warning hovers right around the chest. His whole body freezes instantly, and a cold sweat breaks out over him. Without this timely hint, would he have died here? Just like these people, he steps 3 full steps back and eyes the chest. Unsure of his next move, the next prompt explains that this is no ordinary chest. It is actually a treasure chest monster, and if he charges straight up to reach his hand or head inside, it will reveal its true form and tear him to shreds. Looking at the skeletal remains littering the floor, he realizes the descriptions match. Everybody is either missing their hands or missing their head. He gulps hard. The next prompt tells him to use his stone spear to pry the lid open, and then drive the spear hard through the gap to kill the creature inside. He takes a long breath, forces his fear down, eases the lid up with the spearhead, and he thrusts with everything he has, a whistling shriek tearing from its chest as black bristled limbs suddenly sprout, and the body cavity splits open into a mauve arrow-sharp teeth. His spearhead sinks deep into its red tongue. The system reveals this is actually the main god's proudest creation, designed to toy with players, and that killing it yields rare treasures. He braces the spear against his own chest, using his body as a brace for support as the monster thrashes. The pain is enormous, but he refuses to let go. His face flushes red with effort as he drives the spear straight through its body. The system confirms the kill, but he is not finished yet. He keeps stabbing the beast. Honestly, can you even blame him for overkilling it? A small black stone like a dark diamond appears in his hand, an earth demon core. The description says this core has earth attribute magic with a wide range of uses. He does not know what to do with it yet, so he drops it into his pack. He turns back to the corpse. A prompt offers to decompose it, but he waits. He reaches inside the dead monster's mouth, pulling out a cold, hollowed-out marble object. Shaped like a stylized flower, an incomplete magic fountain of excellent grade. The description reveals it can be completed by setting a water demon core into the base and powering it with an energy source to draw water elements from the air, producing 1 liter of clean water every single day. The god calls it a mere ornament, but the system lists the grades: trash, common, excellent, perfect, rare, legendary, epic, and mythic. He murmurs the words magic fountain under his breath, completely amazed by the possibility. Since he is not short on water just yet, he decides to search later. With this fountain in his future, he will never have to fear thirst again. He stores it away and lets the system decompose the monster's remains. The system awards him 2 portions of bone and thigh meat, 2 forelimbs, and 4 pieces of wood. The limbs were incredibly thin, meaning this bone-in meat is mostly skin, but the system has thoughtfully scraped off the black bristles, living on only rice-in. This labyrinth would leave him malnourished, and he desperately needs protein. He takes a quick moment to rest, sweeping the room again only to find nothing but wall bricks, which he collects since they take only 1 slot. They are absolutely essential for upgrading his base, moving forward into the next room, which holds nothing but iron ore. He claims 10 pieces of it, then he heads left. Next, he moves left into a room with food, grabbing flour and sesame oil for his pack. By the time he secures everything, his body is finished. For the day, he opens the recipe for steamed buns and grilled meat. Using flour, water, and 3 pieces of firewood, he cooks them up. The steamed buns smell absolutely amazing, but the grilled meat tastes like cheap, gamey mutton. The system clearly does not care about taste. He lights his own fire to grill the rest of the skin himself, which takes time. While it cooks, he spends his time scrolling through the global chat. Players are reporting bizarre finds, like earthworms that taste like chicken, materials with no water, and a guy digging up grass while a bull watched him. He checks the regional channel and notices a chilling stat on the screen. The population dropped from 1,000 to 888 in 1 day. Monsters are everywhere. Sui has rice but no water, knowing it dry, while Myung Yu has water but no food and wants to trade. Meanwhile, Geru is warning everyone not to touch the chests. A mimic bit his hand right off, and he is bleeding out. He is starting to drift, saying he is going to sleep, while the channel offers Gentle blessings, still, some skeptics insist he is lying, over in the regional channel. Players send blessings, hoping that when he finally wakes from this nightmare, he will leave the terrible labyrinth and return to the normal world, but some doubt him, insisting Geru is lying and there is no such thing as chest monsters. They believe the chests only hold good items. Our hero sits by his own fire, knowing that without his prompts, he would have died. Exactly like that, swallowed alive by a mouth full of arrow-shaped teeth. He finishes eating the last of his grilled monster meat, tossing the bone into the fire, summons his base, and falls into the most peaceful sleep he has enjoyed since arriving. When morning comes and the false sun warms his face, he eats 2 steamed buns and heads out to explore, but this time, the prompts ahead look absolutely brutal. In front of him, they only describe traps. The room ahead is an arrow-filled corridor. He can only survive with wildcat reflexes or an item to block those flying arrows. To the left is a tropical rainforest mountain. During leech breeding season, rushing in is suicide. On the right, a riddle. Wizard rewards correct answers, but uses deadly magic if he fails to answer. The room above has 2 centaur archers ready to turn him into a hedgehog. Below is an escape room he might solve with prompts, but cannot finish because he lacks a key item. Every single direction is dangerous. He rules out the leeches first, remembering terrifying documentaries about them. The riddles are out because this world is too new to know its lore. The centaurs are out too. Warcraft taught him they are fast and accurate, meaning a simple shield will not save him from being hunted down. He rules out the lower room because he lacks that critical item, and if he does not have it, nobody does, meaning no auction can save him. That leaves only the trap room. Handily, the prompt says an arrow-blocking tool is enough. He opens his crafting menu, searching for defensive items. The wooden shield blocks normal blows but gets easily pierced by arrows and has low durability. The leather shield, wood cord and hide covered, blocks most damage but still loses to powerful arrows. The iron-plated shield, crafted with wood and iron plating, is called invincible in the early game until its durability runs out. Normal arrows cannot pierce it at all. As for armor recipes, they all require rare blueprints he does not have yet. But the iron shield is unlocked, making it his best option. It needs 3 iron plates, 1 wooden hammer, and 5 wood. Crafting the plates requires 5 iron ore, a hammer, and 5 pieces of charcoal. He has 10 iron ore, enough for 2 plates. He needs 5 more. Making an iron hammer is impossible, but a wooden one only takes 2 wood, and its durability slowly drops rather than breaking instantly. Coal can be bought, but making charcoal is incredibly efficient with those easy substitutions ready. He just needs 5 more iron ore. He opens the chat to see what other players are struggling. Many prove unlucky, running into deadly monsters and arrows instead of food and water. The regional channel has shrunk to 834. The most common message in chat is a cry for sustenance. Luckily, he has plenty of food right now. Flour and rice to last several days, and the magic fountain in his future means water won't be an issue long-term, so he lists rice on the auction. His listing offers 100 grams of rice for 1 water demon core, or alternatively 5 pieces of iron ore or 1 iron plate. The moment it goes up, the chat detonates. People are screaming about a rich player trading actual food, asking what a water demon core even is, or if anyone has one. Someone notes that at this stage, the only precious things are food and water. A man who can spare rice must have a massive stockpile stashed somewhere. Someone with plenty of iron ore but no rice begs him to trade. The screen scrolls so fast he can barely read it, and on top of that, private messages flood in. A self-described wealthy lady offers her body and her family fortune for just 100 grams of rice. Later, a guy with a mountain of wood asks for 50 grams in exchange for 20 wood. Someone else offers an iron plate and sand for the rice. There are endless offers, but not one has a water demon core. he updates the listing, splitting it up 50 grams of rice for 10 iron ore or 2 iron plates instantly, and 75 grams of rice for 1 water demon core, leaving it active until someone claims it. The chat explodes once more. Within a heartbeat, the iron ore offer is filled and he receives 10 pieces of iron ore. The chat keeps scrolling as players cry about missing the rice. Big bosses of major corporations, famous celebrities, people he would never talk to in real life, are begging, talk about a complete reversal. Him for food, Yebek offers tens of billions from his family's massive fortune. Another player named Robin boasts she played a beautiful fairy in some movie. Offering herself for 200 grams of rice, Yeguan drops his name like it matters. He doesn't care, they had power outside, but they have nothing in here. Most will die. Holding the iron ore, he crafts 3 iron plates, then assembles the iron-plated shield. Holding it, he realizes it feels incredibly light. Weighing no more than a thick wooden board, it stands about half his height. Gripping the shield in his left hand and spear in his right, he feels just like an ancient soldier, only missing some armor. Now he can challenge the trap room. The system prompt at the door warns him that, although his hands and feet are not as agile as a wildcat, and his movements are not action movie level, the shield in his hand gives him the confidence to win. As long as it is daylight, he must advance calmly. He takes a deep breath, raising the shield in his left and the spear in his right, stepping into the corridor. With each step, his heart beats harder. As he reaches the door at the end, a prompt warns him that opening it will trigger deadly flying arrows. He sets his spear aside, twists the door open from behind cover, and presses his back to the door, stepping carefully. A sharp whoosh of arrows fires past as the trap triggers. Sweat pours. His face slackens and he exhales. He would be dead right now without the prompt. The next instruction tells him to enter quickly and raise his shield. The shield feels heavy as the first internal trap mechanism activates, ducking his head. He charges in shield first, arrows clanging loudly against the iron plate as a recoil. Shock jolts straight up his arms. The next system prompt warns that the marble tiles will collapse if he stays on them for more than 3 seconds. He keeps moving. Behind him, the stone shatters and a dark pit yawns open right where he just stood, falling. Inside means instant death. More arrows fly from the front. This lethal rain does not stop. And if he pauses to block a volley, he loses the vital seconds needed to stay. Ahead of the collapsing floor, the next system prompt reveals a metal lever on the wall. Ahead, he must smash it with his shield to shut down some of these traps. 10 meters in front of him, that lever sits covered in thick, ancient rust, gleaming faintly under the artificial light. He wants to sprint, but he cannot stop blocking arrows, and every pause lets the crumbling tiles gain on him. The flesh of his hands has split, bleeding onto the shield grip, but the agonizing pain keeps him sharp. His mind is a blur of panic and absolute focus. Every breath burns. The entire world is reduced to the narrow strip of stone ahead of him. Almost there, he mutters, gritting his teeth and gripping the heavy shield with both hands while the force of the arrows threatens to push him back. A new prompt warns that a deadly tile lies directly in front, meaning he must swerve right, adding precious distance and giving the floor more time to cave in. The marble behind him is falling away faster and faster. Every step he takes is at the absolute last second before the floor vanishes. Suddenly, a massive rock the size of a refrigerator crashes through a tile right beside him. Had he stepped there, he would be crushed flat. He curses his own numb legs for failing him now, and honestly, who thinks about women in a death trap? But there is no time to joke. He drags his body forward, taking agonizing steps, dragging heavy, exhausted legs that feel like they are filled with solid lead. He realizes his very next step will plunge him into the darkness. He is finished. Right then, the system prompt screams at him to strike the lever immediately. Closing his eyes, he raises the shield and slams it down just as his back foot slips into the open void. The mechanism drops with a heavy clank. The collapse stops. He crashes down, one leg dangling over the edge but keeps his shield raised defensively to block the final stray arrows. His face is pale, completely drained of color. His eyes are bloodshot. He has pushed past his absolute limits, scrambling onto a safe platform. He finally looks back down at the abyss. Behind him, from the depths, a low, terrifying roar echoes, making his chest tighten. It is a dark reminder of the abyss gazing back. Something horrific dwells down. In those depths and without those system prompts, he would already be dead. He cannot afford to linger. The system directs him to raise his shield and walk forward to claim his prize, assuring him the real danger has passed. Those arrows are fired from mechanical crossbows up ahead. He raises his shield, slowly closing in. Next, the system tells him to draw his spear and wreck the mechanisms. He jams the stone weapon directly into the gears, shattering the inner components. The device jams, triggering a chain reaction that completely tears the other launchers apart within seconds. He steps onto the raised stone platform where his rewards await. 3 glowing fruits sit on the pedestal, a basic experience fruit shaped like a pear, a rare purple immortal fruit resembling an apricot that instantly cures poison, while granting 10 minutes of immunity, and finally, a sacred item. It is a spirit fruit, resembling a jujube that dispels curses and boosts physical attributes by half. Down goes the experience fruit immediately. The crunch is absolutely heavenly, bringing that ultimate ruler of the world feeling that every single man dreams about. Finishing it so quickly leaves his mouth craving another. Next, the system pings. He has consumed a basic experience fruit, earning massive experience points. His level instantly rises. From level 1 to 2, then straight to level 3. Power surges in his arms, so much that the heavy, iron-plated shield, which felt clumsy just a moment ago, now feels completely weightless. Leveling up is amazing, he realizes, but he still misses the sheer joy of stuffing his face. He saves the purple immortal fruit and the holy spirit fruit. Gas chambers, venomous snake rooms, and curses are all distinct threats he cannot ignore. These 2 fruits are incredibly vital right now, especially since the market lacks any detox or curse-breaking medicines for sale. Looking ahead, 5 new doorways each display a prompt about a wooden chest. The room ahead holds food, the left has metal ore, and the right has pre-made tools. The top room has spoiled meat, but there is plenty. The lower room holds rare items meant for late-game survival. In those tougher stages, after everything he just survived, this feels like a gift. And he is temporarily paralyzed by choice. Taking the long view, he has plenty of food. He does not need ore, can craft tools himself, and will not eat spoiled meat. The lower room wins, offering special late-game items. The lower room has 0 traps, its door flat against the floor. A wooden chest sits right in the center. The system prompt says it is totally ordinary, not a mimic monster. Opening it up, the system rewards him with the chest itself. A farmhouse courtyard blueprint and an energy stone. He dismantles the wooden chest to get 3 pieces of wood. The description notes it is somewhat lowly and he wants no part of that. The farmhouse courtyard blueprint upgrades his trash quality base into a standard one with farmland. The energy stone serves as standard fuel for all kinds of magic items. The courtyard requires 500 bricks, 100 soil, 50 stone, 20 wood, 2 iron ingots, an earth demon core, and a light magic core. He learns it immediately. He lacks the resources now, but he can easily gather them later. Once it is built, he will have rich farmland for crops, and the magic fountain will supply unlimited water. He is in no rush to advance. He moves his supplies into the base and lies down to check the chat panel. Among a flood of spam messages, the system filters out one useful trade. Gui, a level 1 user, wants 200 grams of rice for a water core. Her profile is pretty, but her trading ratio is terrible. He offers 75 grams. She bargains for 100. He counters that if she refuses, someone else will grab it. And she cannot miss out. She goes silent. the auction house is otherwise full of players dumping materials, with zero food or water listed. A moment later, the system pings. Gui has traded her water core for 75 grams of rice. He pulls out his magic fountain and fits the blue, crystal-shaped core into the groove of the base. The fountain upgrades to fine quality, and the system prompt asks for an energy stone to supply 1 liter of water daily for 7 days. He just got through the trap room, and 1 water bottle is already bone dry. He is down to barely 300 milliliters. Trouble is coming. A person lasts 3 days without water, and he is already feeling it. He inserts the energy stone, and the magical fountain instantly springs to life. A tiny stream flows from a flower-shaped nozzle, pooling in the reservoir. The reservoir holds 1 liter, but this fountain only works inside his secure base. Finally, he is safe. He disassembles his last bottle of water. With 300 milliliters, he lists 200 milliliters for a light magic core. He also offers 50 milliliters for 2 iron ingots, confident in his daily supply. The fountain makes a full liter daily, so he is giving up basically nothing. The global chat explodes again. Pipit literally calls him a god. Honestly, who can blame them? Jiho is playing like an absolute god right now. One player asks, why does he need all these bizarre materials? They wonder how much he actually knows. Another reminds everyone that water is life. It is far more precious than food, since humans can survive weeks without eating. But without water, 3 days is the absolute limit. Boss offers 100 milliliters. He wants to trade, while a jealous bystander complains about this Korean player's luck. They claim his luck is just too high, and the rest of the world is not buying it. The world channel is moving so fast that players from every region are clashing. Meanwhile, in the local regional channel, Gangjin calls Jiho an absolute overlord. He really is an overlord. Gangho points out he is level 3. Yusika sighs, complaining her own experience bar is only at 4/5 after 4 rooms. She begs to know how he leveled so fast, while his private inbox floods again. But Jiho ignores them. Instead, 2 iron ingots arrive. Now his farmhouse courtyard upgrade is 1 massive step closer. He still needs soil and stone, has 7 out of 20 wood, and his iron is complete. With his earth core secured, he just needs 1 light core, the bricks he salvaged. From that chest, monster room saved him. Soil, stone, and wood are easy enough. That earth core came directly from the mimic. Now, he is only missing the light core. So he waits. Meanwhile, he crafts a powerful new iron spear. Using 5 iron ore and 1 wood, this weapon easily outclasses his old stone spear. He definitely prefers the extra reach, because a longer weapon means a much stronger defense. Honestly, a heavy, long weapon is just more satisfying. The system processes the crafting recipe. Now he wields a massive 2-meter iron spear, feeling exactly like a legendary general reborn. It is finally time to enter the 6th room. Prompts warn him the room ahead is a forest. Vicious hornets nest in every single tree, making logging absolute suicide. The room behind holds a wild boar he can easily hunt with his shield and spear. The left room is a frozen wasteland where he could briefly gather clean melted snow. Meanwhile, the right room contains a helpless labyrinth sprite captured by an evil goblin magician. Defeating the magician at night rescues the sprite, offering a highly coveted special reward. The lower room is full of deadly snakes, absolute death without proper gear. That goblin magician room immediately catches his eye, and honestly, would you pass that up? It seems safe enough to enter, but a warning prompt at the doorway tells him to wait. He must wait until the dead of night, when the magician is sleeping soundly. Then 1 quick spear thrust can end him, because rushing in right now means certain death. Looking up at the sky, he notices the false sun is already starting to set now. He spends his time drilling with his spear and shield together. A set of armor would make him far more dangerous. To pass the time, he grills the chest monster meat and eats it quite slowly. The notification warns him that the goblin magician is not yet asleep. Finally, the system prompt tells him to approach the target without making a single sound. He pushes the sixth door open, revealing a forest with a central meadow. A lonely tent sits in the middle of the grass, with a campfire still burning. He creeps across the grass at a snail's pace, taking one careful step at a time. Moving slowly ensures the dry grass does not rustle under his heavy boots. A true hunter does not need superior strength, he only needs an absolute abundance of patience. Even a wild tiger approaches a deer one tiny, silent step at a time. What should have been a very brief walk ends up taking him a grueling half-hour. By the time he crosses the open meadow, his aching legs are drenched in sweat. Yet he finally arrives right outside the dark tent, not a single creak. Peering through the gaps in the canvas, he spots the sleeping green goblin. Tied next to him is a tiny sprite, about the size of a small baby. She has translucent wings on her back and wears exquisite clothes that glow with light. Then, without warning, she screams out, "Brave adventurer, please save me." Her childish voice is incredibly bright and loud, shattering the quiet forest around them. Oh, talk about the absolute worst possible thing she could have done. The magician's eyes snap wide open as his hand desperately reaches out for his wand. Waking up so suddenly, he struggles to process the situation in time. He silently curses her under his breath, absolutely furious at having such a terrible teammate. Lunging forward, he drives his spear directly at the goblin's soft stomach. The monster screams, calling him a despicable human as fire gathers on his wand. A sudden system prompt flashes in front of his eyes, warning him to raise his shield immediately. He yanks the weapon back, slams the iron plate up just in time. The fist-sized fireball detonates, unleashing a massive blast of blinding fire. The massive explosion scorches the shield black and instantly drops his health by 20%. This magic damage burns his entire body, melting his cheap clothes onto his skin. His hair reeks of singed fibers, and his left hand throbs in absolute agony. The next system prompt warns him to kill the magic goblin before he casts again. Pure desperation carries him forward as he prepares for one final strike. Dropping his shield, he grips the heavy spear tightly, both hands. Ignoring the screaming pain in his body, he drives the weapon straight into the monster's sternum. At level 3, his physical strength is 1.5 times normal. The sharp spear punches through tough skin, tearing deep into his internal organs. Goblins have different anatomy, but they still die. The magician's eyes glaze over as he quietly draws his very last breath. The system pings him twice for defeating an opponent of a higher level. He instantly levels up all the way from 3 to 4, and then straight to 5. However, his left hand is completely ruined from forcing that final, desperate blow. The system reports a painful fracture, but he has no access to medicine. Thankfully, the next notification tells him to untie the sprite so she can heal him. He quickly cuts her bonds with his right hand. She instantly apologizes for being too excited. When she saw him, explaining that she actually has healing magic for him. She also announces that they are officially friends now because he risked everything to save her. Pressing her tiny hands together, she closes her eyes and begins to sing a beautiful, soft melody. Her mouth moves softly as a faint light of pure vitality starts to glow. The warm vitality wraps around him, triggering a notification. He received the sprite's life blessing. This gives him full healing, plus a massive buff boosting his physical stats by 40%. Just like that, his fracture vanishes. Every single trace of pain is completely gone. He feels amazing, like he is floating in warm water or enjoying a perfectly timed smoke. A wave of pure comfort rolls through him. She tells him to wear this ring. It is woven from grass, and she promises her kin will bless him the next time they meet. A tiny green grass ring appears in his palm, labeled as an elf friend ring. This rare grade item literally doubles his health regeneration rate, which is absolutely incredible. It also has a special effect that completely stops any nearby labyrinth sprites from fleeing from him. Instead, they will cast blessings. The description says each sprite can only weave one in their lifetime. He stares down at the rare ring in complete shock. This is insane. Such rare grade items are not supposed to appear until much later in the game. Even then, they are supposed to be extremely uncommon. Right now, perfect items are rare. So a ring like this is basically an early game artifact. He thinks about it for a second. The game design actually makes perfect sense when you look closely. Saving a sprite from a goblin magician was supposed to be completely impossible. For any early game player, since most of them have absolutely nothing in hand, not even a basic wooden stick, they would instantly burn. This ring is his reward for doing the impossible. And the only reason he holds it is because his cheat prompts let him bypass the limits. He says goodbye, wishing little Nicole safe travels as she prepares to leave him. She flutters away with a bright smile. Now the system asks if he wants to salvage the dead magician. He accepts, immediately obtaining 1 bottle of Goblin's secret strength drug. The green glass bottle, a healing herb recipe, 5 goblin meats and goblin blood. He also gets an energy stone. The secret drug is actually an excellent grade item, which normally boosts strength by 30%, but there is a massive catch to using it. It is incredibly bitter, meaning he must take it with something sweet or the effect is halved. Since he has nothing sweet, he pockets it and learns the recipe right away. The parchment quickly dissolves into white light. Healing potions are vital right now. Without them, serious wounds in this place will easily kill him, making this recipe a lifesaver. It requires 5 purple moss, 2 thorn flowers, and 2 long shan grass, plus 2 horsetail grass plants, 100 milliliters of purified water, and a glass bottle. At the moment, he only has the water, so he opens up the auction market to search. Purple moss is only slightly more expensive due to its detoxification effect. By listing his own buy orders, he can drive those market prices down even further. Currently, no healing medicine is for sale because it is simply too precious. He is already miles ahead of everyone else in this dungeon. He keeps the goblin blood and the energy stone, then tosses the rancid meat aside. It smells absolutely foul, and the system warns that 1 bite ruins his day. He has no real desire to eat it, but he might need backup food in case of a real emergency. Just as he prepares to leave the room, his system chimes. The 200 milliliters of water has sold. The magic core finally arrives, completing his final upgrade requirement amidst all the mud. Each shoveled cubic unit gets him closer, and he quickly hits 100. Wood is easy in this forest, and he easily gets way past the 20 logs needed by chopping down trees. Stone is what he is still missing. Fortunately, the next room is packed with huge, jagged rocks, where wild mice hide in the cracks, giving him a chance, but he needs a chisel. The recipe calls for 5 iron ore, 5 charcoal, and 200 milliliters of water. Other players might hesitate to waste precious water, but with his magic fountain, he does not hesitate. He crafts the chisel. He smashes the rocks, easily gathering more than 100 stones. No special quartz this time. The system prompts him for the upgrade. He accepts. The remote screen glows, his humble hut shimmers, and in seconds the dilapidated thatched shack transforms into a proper farmhouse courtyard of normal quality. It features 2 living spaces and 4 soil plots for farming, a happy farmhouse. The description calls it, bringing back nostalgic childhood vibes. Inside, the drafts are gone, replaced by a cozy home, while others struggle to find basic food and water. Shio has taken a massive leap ahead of everyone else. The farmhouse interior allows for special functional gear, and his magic fountain does not even take up that slot. Whatever fits there must be incredible. He walks out to the farmland and takes a few steps on the rich dirt. His farming instincts spark, but without any seeds he can only stare. Fatigue finally hits him. After fighting a magician and doing hours of heavy construction, his body is exhausted. Even with the life blessing buff active, he desperately needs sleep tonight. In the past, he would be scrolling social media. Now he browses the regional chat. Players are trapped in rooms by wolves they cannot fight. Others are desperately begging for medicine or pleading for brother Shio to return and sell them water. After showing his survival skills, everyone views him as a legendary expert. He happily lets them believe it. Meanwhile, Ji-wei advises everyone to craft weapons immediately so they can defend themselves against the dangerous local beasts. Hyeon-seong praises her as second only to Shio. Meanwhile, Yu calls Shio absolutely terrifying for already reaching level 5. Yi-seong admits he tried to slay a sprite and got cursed, while Shioli boasts about a basic combat knife from a chest. The gap between them is massive. Exhausted, sleep takes him quickly. He wakes up and ventures into the 8th room, discovering an orchard. Most fruit has rotted or turned toxic, but the sweet tangerines look perfectly fine. He picks 9. The system identifies them as common-grade sweet tangerines. Divine creation that is highly edible. Back on Earth, he would never get excited over simple citrus. Down south, you can buy 2.5 pounds for 10 yuan, but here, one juicy bite fills his mouth with incredible fragrance. He peels it slowly, chewing each slice with absolute bliss. The main god might have a twisted sense of humor, but his creations are actually delicious. With a sweet treat ready, he pulls out the goblin's secret potion. The bottle looks like dark, stagnant swamp water, and the foul stench hits first. It smells rotten. He quickly pops another tangerine slice in and chugs the medicine right after. An intense, numbing bitterness explodes in his mouth, so he bites down on the citrus. Hard to wash it down, only then does the flavor settle and the system confirms. His strength shoots up 30% as the medicine warms his belly, sending a current through him. His muscles swell up, tearing his jeans in several spots. Equipped with the iron-plated shield and iron spear, he looks like an ancient general. Feeling his new power, he immediately wants someone to test it on. Just like a rich man wanting to spend his money, he craves a fight with a monster. A labyrinth monster is the perfect target as he prepares for the 9th room. System prompts warn him that the room ahead is a swamp requiring special equipment. The right room holds an iron chest guarded by a massive quill-spiked wild boar. Going in means risking serious injury, but the chest holds items vital for his survival. He has to try. Meanwhile, the left room is empty and the lower one is flooded. It has a rotting, diseased wild dog, but that quill-spiked wild boar is no normal beast. After his earlier adrenaline rush, he hesitates. Every great opportunity carries real danger. But without risk, there is no reward. He decides to head to the right. Grabbing his shield, a new warning pops up. Opening the door triggers an instant charge. He opens it carefully. Hearing a heavy, thumping rush, he raises his iron shield. Just in time, a massive clang shudders through him, like a 100-pound sledgehammer hit. The brutal impact leaves his left hand throbbing. The system alerts him that the shield has already taken too much heavy damage. Its durability is dangerously low, and it is about to shatter. He curses loudly. It had already lost half its durability during the magician's fireball attack. He thought the rest would last for days, never expecting to lose it so quickly. That single charge did it. This boar in front of him is no ordinary beast. It is a muscular, fanged, black-skinned monster with sharp spikes around its neck. Those spikes serve as a deadly defense to keep any predator away. Any attacker going for its throat would instantly end up impaled and torn to pieces. But he is a level 5 player now, with the secret goblin drug active. He is absolutely not the weakling he used to be. Forget about protecting the shield. It is usable for now, and if it breaks, he can simply craft another one. He grips the spear and drives it directly into the heavy, charging boar. The weapon punches straight through its defenses, piercing deep into its flesh. It goes all the way out the other side as blood sprays everywhere. Feeling a surge of joy, he pulls back for a second strike, but the beast panics. Realizing its death is near, the boar screams and goes completely berserk in desperation. It slams into his shield with all its power, hard fangs hammering the iron. The defense shatters completely, and the boar's massive body rams straight into his chest. A terrible, dull ache spreads through his torso as the blow crushes his lungs. His breathing stutters, his health drops 30%, and the system warns of a fracture. A broken sternum, the intense pain only makes him incredibly angry, masking the agony. Driven by pure rage, he stabs the spear back into the beast and holds on. He swings the weapon like a giant lever, using his enhanced, monstrous strength. It rips the boar's belly wide open, instantly stopping the beast in its tracks. The system confirms the kill. He spits bloody saliva right onto the fresh corpse. He is seriously injured. His health will recover, but the bone fracture still remains. It is highly annoying, but there is no panic. He can still craft a healing potion. He needs 5 purple moss, 2 thorn flowers, and some wild long shang grass. Horsetail grass, 100 milliliters of purified water, and 1 glass bottle. He opens the auction to trade his goblin blood, since he has plenty of water already. He sells blood, 200 milliliters for 5. Purple moss, 75 milliliters for 2 thorn flowers, or 2 long shang. And 2 horsetails, 75 milliliters of blood for 1 glass bottle. The chat erupts instantly. Brother Jiho is selling goblin blood, the world channel. Is full of desperate people. Water is water, no matter the taste. Common materials are suddenly trading by the dozen in the regional channel. Players realize Jiho killed a goblin for that blood. Muyang finds it strange. That Jiho actually attacked a labyrinth monster instead of running away. Moonchul wonders aloud what Jiho is collecting all these random materials for. Meanwhile, the world channel is absolute chaos. Brother Jiho has goblin blood for sale, cheap and good. Quality too, who cares if it tastes awful, just having something to drink is enough, no room to be picky, but what about the materials? He is buying, they are all totally common. Why does he want them? Could there be some secret recipe? Of course, the cynics immediately chime in. So what if he keeps the secret? Those materials just rot. Jiho closes the screen. The healing potion ingredients will pour in once buyers see his trades. He needs to start crafting immediately, but above all, he must stay alive long enough to milk every opportunity this labyrinth throws his way. While others desperately search for a single sip of water, Ji is sitting cozy inside a farmhouse with a running magic fountain. A sprite-blessed ring shines on his finger, and potion recipes fill his head. The gap between him and the rest of the world grows wider daily. And those golden system prompts are the sole reason for his insane success. Every player faces the same cruel god alone, but Jiho has a guide. A secret hint whispers at every doorway. Humility is his key to survival. And now his private inbox is completely flooded with unread messages. Everyone wants to know the exact same thing, how he got goblin blood. Some try to pry his secret recipe, asking about those weird ingredients. Others are just shameless freeloaders begging for handouts. He ignores them completely. Jiho drops a single public message confirming he killed a goblin magician. He explains he harvested the blood from the corpse and warning them about the terrible taste, the part about crafting healing potions, completely classified. If he admits to crafting, ingredient prices will skyrocket and ruin his margins. Keeping quiet is just smart business. As for the beggars, they get ignored. But the moment his message lands, the world chat absolutely explodes. Brother Jiho, you are my absolute savior. I will pray to your name. Before opening any door, believe in Jiho. Some claim he is a hacker. He must be abusing a glitch. Brother Jiho, can you please tell me how you defeated that monster? I was chased by a fire-shooting goblin earlier and Jiho actually took one down. This really boosts our morale. Brother Jiho is an absolute legend. Over in the regional channel, Soyang gapes, realizing a literal god-tier player is sitting in their regional group. She was the clown all along. Jue quickly tells everyone to stay calm. He is here to stay, declaring the chat channel blessed as long as they follow him and Nickel. They guess he must be a top expert from Korea, a master of real ancient martial arts. Martial arts, he lets them guess, as the system suddenly pings 5 times. Goblin blood sold for 5 purple mosses. The 75 milliliters for 2 thorn flowers has also cleared. The 75 milliliters for 2 horsetail grass is gone, along with the final batch for 2 long shame grass. He collects the items. Every single ingredient for the potion is now secured. He shuts the chat, opens the crafting tab, and watches the system assemble a bottle of Goblin Healing Potion of common quality. It is designed to treat basic player injuries, like bleeding, painful bone fractures, and even severed limbs. He notices that word common, briefly wondering what kind of brutal, advanced injuries await him later in the game. Before tossing the thought aside, he will worry about that once he actually has a better potion to drink. Uncapping the glass, he swallows it down. The system notifies him that his physical condition has finally changed from a sternum fracture to perfectly normal. The heavy weight in his chest dissolves instantly, that dull ache washing away completely. As he exhales a long sigh of relief, he pulls out fresh water and drinks deeply. In this brutal labyrinth, anyone downing clean water like this is undeniably rich. Now, the quill-spiked wild boar he recently hunted down still needs to be salvaged. He commands the system to decompose the beast. 5 portions of meat, 500 milliliters of boar blood, 5 sharp quills, and 1 energy stone drop. Those 5 meat portions, with each weighing 1 kilogram, add up to 5 kilograms total, for a monster that beat him up. This harvest is massive, especially since the system usually docks a percentage of the. That implies this wild boar must have been an absolute, massive giant. He will not have to worry about scavenging food for quite a while. This boar meat, despite being wild game, supposedly shares the tender texture of premium domestic black pork thanks to the system tweaks. That is leagues ahead of garbage goblin meat. But get this, that harvested wild boar blood is actually far more interesting. Drinking 500 milliliters permanently boosts his health bar. The description quotes the main god's belief that you are what you eat. Those quills are incredibly sharp, making perfect arrowheads that easily pierce basic shields below fine grade. Suddenly it clicks why his own iron-plated shield stood absolutely no chance against the beast's charge. Those spikes punching straight through his defense were not lucky strikes, they were natural armor-piercing weapons, doing exactly what they were designed for. That shield was honestly destined to shatter no matter how perfectly he fought. He glances down at the ruined scrap heap on the floor and walks over to collect it. The system prompts him to decompose the wreckage, returning 2 iron plates directly to his inventory, recouping a bit of the loss, with some leftover iron ore, charcoal, and wood, giving him everything he needs to forge another sturdy iron-plated shield. But this new shield is identical to the old one, which is to say not quite enough. He wants a stronger shield. It is time to open the iron chest, the real prize of this brutal run. Stepping forward cautiously, a safe prompt confirms there are no hidden traps waiting for him. He lifts the heavy lid, and the system rewards roll in. He gets the iron chest itself for storage, 1 phantom beast egg, and 3 elemental demon cores, earth, water, and dark magic. While those cores are obviously crafting fuel, he has absolutely no clue what that phantom beast egg is for, prompting him to read its description. Once hatched, it yields a rare companion that fights with absolute loyalty. Partner to boost his survival odds. The egg is half a meter tall, glowing fiery red and smooth as a piece of art. Food is no longer an issue. But his combat power is still lacking. The labyrinth will only get more dangerous as he levels up. Hatching this beast is exactly what he needs. To cover his weaknesses, he orders the system to hatch it, but it demands an incubator first. When he asks what an incubator even is, the system completely ignores him. A quick search on the auction house for incubators yields absolutely nothing. Right now, anyone with similar progress is likely in the same boat as him and average players. Without his special system, prompts certainly have not found one yet. He has to wait, placing his hand on the warm shell. He feels a heartbeat. Inside, faint but very real, he decides to give it a name right now. Even though it hasn't hatched yet, he names it Buja, back in his old city life. He always wanted a pet dog, but never had the money to raise one in the city. He had picked the name Buja for that dream pet, keeping it tucked away. In his mind ever since, money was always tight and city life was tough. His new companion isn't exactly what he planned for, but the name still fits perfectly. After naming the egg, he eats some rice, rests, grabs his spear and shield, and scans the surrounding rooms. The space directly ahead is filled with mature books. The system commentary suggests they might ease his loneliness, but he passes. The room to the left is crawling with venomous insects, and although he has antidotes, he lacks protective gear, meaning he would just end up running for his life. The room on the right features quicksand and barren soil, zero loot to gain. Meanwhile, the chamber above has a deadly goblin magician actively hunting prey. Climbing up there would only turn him into an easy target. However, the room below is labeled as interesting. This game is designed to toy with human hearts, and the prompt dares him to enter and expose it. He smiles. The creator wants to mess with players, but that won't work here. He heads down. Honestly, walking down these dark stairs would make anyone's skin crawl. He wonders what kind of underhanded design awaits him, perhaps some hidden trap. Like before, where opening a simple door triggers a volley of lethal arrows. To this cruel game master, every player is just an ant to be crushed. At the next entrance, his system prompt shows absolutely no sign of danger. It tells him to go in because the contents will definitely surprise him. He pushes through, his mind racing with mixed feelings of hope and dread. The moment he steps forward, a blinding, brilliant light floods his entire vision. Then that same theatrical voice from his very first day echoes out loud. It welcomes him warmly to what it calls the Treasure Raider Chamber. The voice labels him both incredibly lucky and deeply unfortunate. The lucky part is that this room is packed with valuable chests to claim. The unfortunate part is that some of them hide deadly traps and monsters. The more chests he decides to open, the higher the risk of releasing a beast. The voice mockingly tells this greedy and foolish human to make a choice. Either walk away empty-handed or open chests, reach the absolute peak and fall. Everything depends on his choices. With that, the theatrical voice fades away. His vision clears. He stands in a grand marble room filled with treasure chests. Of every imaginable type, stone, wood, iron, and bronze chests are neatly arranged. In 4 rows of 5, they sit on the marble like alluring prizes. Just waiting to be chosen. The main god's design is incredibly cruel. Any player too cowardly to open even one chest will definitely regret it when they hit a massive roadblock this room could have solved. And if a player gets too greedy, growing bolder with every chest, they will end up blowing themselves to pieces. This is pure bait. It punishes cowardice while dangling temptation, while others freeze in fear. He plays it safe. Thankfully, he has a special guide prompt to lead him. His plan is to loot absolutely everything. He approaches a basic stone chest. But the system prompt warns him to stop. This special game has unique rules. The very first chest a player opens guarantees a high-tier reward. To hook them in, wasting that luck on a cheap stone chest would be a massive waste of potential. Instead, the prompt points him elsewhere. He walks right past the low-tier stuff and stops before the bronze row. According to the system, these bronze chests are the lowest of their tier, just 2 ranks below gold. Still, they hold incredibly useful survival gear. The guide prompt tells him to choose one and test his luck. Talk about a tense moment. He stops in front of the middle chest, his heart pounding. With sweaty palms and wide eyes, he takes a deep, steadying breath. He silently prays to any god out there, from Buddha to the goddess of fortune, knowing this is a once-in-a-lifetime shot. He pulls the lid open. The system immediately rolls a rare castle. Blueprint, a perfect grade backpack blueprint, and 5 powerful energy stones. He even gets the empty bronze chest itself. His inventory is now completely maxed out at 10 full slots. He inspects the top prize first. That rare castle blueprint, it lets him upgrade his entire portable base into an absolute fortress with crazy new features, but the cost is staggering: 100 earth demon cores, 100 water demon cores, 100 dark magic cores, 500 energy stones, and thousands of materials, including 200 iron ingots. Yet, the description promises absolute paradise. This rare castle provides massive living quarters, complete with entertainment zones. Even better, it can switch to a combat-ready war state with full firepower. The base allows constant facility upgrades, making it an ever-growing stronghold. He can even hire other players as staff. His eyes shine with excitement. This massive fortress is his ultimate key to surviving the late game. His current mobile base won't last forever. Everyone will need a real stronghold. He doesn't just want to scrape by in the early stages. He wants to become an absolute god in this brutal maze world. He learns the castle blueprint immediately, then moves to the next one. The perfect grade backpack is next. It requires 5 animal hides and 5 wind demon cores. This backpack grants 50 slots and solid defense, acting like light leather armor while boosting his movement speed by 20%. It is an incredibly tough gear piece that does far more than store loot items, but it protects against arrow fire from behind and even lets him move as fast as flight using the wind demon core. Unlike the massive castle, this backpack is something he can actually craft right now. It is perfect for survival. 50 slots, solid defense, and speed. He can sneak in, grab rare loot, and run while taking hits to the back. The pack absorbs the damage while the speed boost gets him out. Next, he must find materials. The system suddenly alerts him that his 10-slot inventory is completely full. Asking to break down the bronze container, he does. 3 bronze ingots return to him. That frees up 2 slots, but that is not nearly enough. He unloads his gear into the base, keeping only the purple immortal fruit and the holy spirit fruit for poison defense. His bag must be empty. A warning prompt pops up: do not touch the remaining bronze chests right now. They contain dangerous maze monsters, deadly traps, or are actually mimics in disguise. A stronger warrior could destroy them easily. But at his level, he would just be easy prey. Open the iron chests instead. He feels a slight pinch of regret. Just 1 bronze chest gave him so much. Another could hold a legendary prize, but those special prompts have been correct far too many times to ignore. Greed is a dangerous trap. He calms his mind. Relying on broken equipment means using his wits, not brute force. Chasing wealth without the power to back it up leads to death. He heads toward the iron row. The golden system text reveals that of the 5 iron chests, 4 are deadly traps, and only the far left one is safe. He walks to the far left chest. After that bronze prize, his expectations are pretty low, but watch what happens when the rewards drop. His heart skips a beat. He gets a fine-grade sleeping powder recipe, a single-use phantom beast incubator, and a miniature magic fountain. The hatcher is the absolute perfect tool. Just place the egg inside, and after one day, a phantom beast hatches with attributes increased by 10%. Sadly, the incubator vanishes after that single hatch. He finally understands the purpose of his farmhouse courtyard. This space is meant for unique items like this. Entering his base, he places the nest-like incubator in the empty spare room right next to the master bedroom. Hatch quickly. Bauja, he silently wishes, placing the egg down. The system countdown begins. 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. He stays right inside his base, pulling out his second reward, the miniature magic fountain. He already has 1 running, but a second doubles his output to 2 liters, which easily covers daily life. having plenty of energy stones, he activates this fountain immediately. The fine sleeping powder recipe is learned at once. Crafting requires colchicum, Paris polyphylla, Gastradia elata, and rhubarb. Prepared in pairs, it can coat sharp blades or mix into food, paralyzing any target upon entering their body, a perfect tool for emergency situations. The system prompt then addresses the row of wooden chests. All 5 are dangerous mimics. He does not have the power to defeat 5 at once. The prompt directs him to the stone chests. The outer ones hold traps, but the middle 3 are safe. He quickly opens the 3 safe chests. Opening stone chests yields 500 grams of flour, a cabbage seed, and a water demon core, along with a wind demon core, a fire demon core, and a light magic core. Followed by another light magic core, and yet another. The notifications just keep rolling in. Another light magic core, and another light magic core. The system seems completely frozen on this item. Seriously, how many light magic cores is he going to get? The list goes on and on. It is just endless light magic cores stacking up in his inventory, one after another. He finally stops getting light magic cores. That fine quality cabbage seed is the real standout. It can go into farmland, growing cabbages every 5 days. The description quotes the main god. The deity claims the texture is crisp, juicy, and perfect for making pickled vegetables. He decides not to plant it yet, preparing to leave, but as he moves, things change. As he chooses his exit, the main god's wheedling voice returns, trying to coax him. He asks why he won't open more chests, complaining he has only opened a tiny handful. The god insists the bronze chests hold rare-grade items, even better than divine artifacts. He mocks him as the most cowardly man alive, egging him on to go all in. He promises a life of luxury if he wins, but says he will end up at sea if he loses. Calling him a fellow countryman, the god begs him to stay, but he completely ignores it. Instead, he walks straight to the door ahead. His prompt confirms that room is clear. It is empty but offers the safest exit, while the other directions are death traps. Terrifying monsters wait in ambush in those areas. The main god has failed. This was just a desperate, final attempt to drag him down too. Now he rests. Entering the next room, a quiet space of sand and dirt, he sits down with a smile. Suddenly, the system pings him with a new title, Cowardly Man, courtesy of the petty god. This spiteful title will be displayed publicly right beside his name on the regional channel. He gets a notification confirming he passed the trial of the raiders of the Lost Ark room. A massive wave of experience floods in, pushing his level from 5 up to 6. The title system is officially unlocked, and he opens it up to check the details. No standard effects, but player taunts are boosted by plus 999. The description literally mocks him for being too scared to even open treasure chests. The god's pettiness is impressive, though the taunt magnet effect is totally useless. Chat insults pose 0 actual threat, and the title lacks any real stat benefits. While he got a useless rare title, his actual haul from this room is insane. He secured a castle blueprint, a perfect backpack blueprint, and an egg incubator, plus a healing recipe and that cabbage seed, making this entire trade incredibly favorable. He heads back to his base, lying on the bed inside the farmhouse to take stock. After a brief rest, he begins sorting his accumulated resources into specific categories. He has 870 milliliters of water, rice, and 750 grams of flour. 50 grams of sesame oil, 5 wild boar meat, 500 milliliters of boar blood and goblin meat. Then a cabbage seed, 7 sweet tangerines, and a purple immortal fruit. He also has a holy spirit fruit, 3 copper ingots and sharp quills. For magic, he has 2 small fountains. For gear, a spear and iron. Plated shield, the elf friend ring, a chisel, wooden hammer, and iron shovel. 3 500 milliliter bottles, a stone chest, and a phantom beast egg. A disposable incubator, 6 energy stones, and an earth magic core are saved. Core, as for blueprints, he already knows the farmhouse courtyard. Castle, a perfect gray backpack, and the goblin healing recipe. potions, anesthetic powder, and the cowardly man title, checking his items. He realizes he went from a guy with a shovel to looking like a total god. Tier expert rather than some newbie who just spawned into the game. Other players are still struggling alone, fighting monsters with nothing but basic iron shovels. Starving and dehydrated. Meanwhile, he has a magic fountain and healing. Recipes plus a rare ring. No time to get complacent, though. He has not even showered in days. Time to grind. He prepares to sell some. Loot to craft a perfect grade backpack first. One thing he definitely does not need is goblin meat. It tastes completely foul, and one bite makes him sick. He refuses to touch it, but starving players out there will not be so picky. To them, it is a lifesaver. He chops 5 kilograms of meat into smaller portions, 20 pieces of 250 grams each. He lists 5 packs. To trade for animal hides. Since hides are actually edible, players will not trade them cheaply, so he sweetens the deal to 50 grams of meat for one hide. That is a generous rate after putting up his listings. He still has over 3,000 grams left. Boom, the global chat goes wild. One player begs for a bite to feed a starving little fairy companion. Another points out that despite people calling him a fraud earlier, here he is again, selling more meat. Others with raw hides eagerly ask for trades. In the regional channel, Jiwi notices his level has shot up again. Bai Young nervously wonders what kind of insane monster has been placed in this sector. Nickel marvels at how absolutely terrifying this guy must be in the real world. Ryu Hyung admits that compared to him, even the former real-world big shots are nothing. He ignores the chatter and sifts through his private messages, stopping on a level 1 player named Sanji offers an alloy shield blueprint and a toilet blueprint for meat. The toilet is useless in a maze where you just go on the fly, but the shield, now that is interesting, he tells Sanji to send the details over. It is a perfect alloy shield blueprint. Once learned, it allows him to craft an incredibly durable shield. This gear is fine quality, completely blocking arrows below its rank. Even better, it has a special shield bash effect that smashes enemies, inflicting stun and stiffness. The description says it is heavy, but perfect for extreme survival. It is perfect for extreme survival. Honestly, he is instantly sold. To survive, he needs defense. He offers Sanji 1,000 grams of goblin meat for both blueprints. Sanji happily accepts, realizing he can eat for days. With the trade done, Sanji asks why. He has the cowardly man title. That is my title, he replies with no special effects. When asked how he got it, he says he got lucky. He learns the alloy shield blueprint. The recipe takes 3 copper and 5 iron ingots, an earth demon core, light magic core, charcoal, and some water. He is only short on iron, so he lists meat at 50 grams for 2 iron ore. He posts 25 listings of 250 grams, warning it tastes foul, but is high in protein. He can price this stuff aggressively. Because he has plenty of pork saved up, selling it does not hurt him at all. But to starving players, this tiny price is an absolute steal. Everyone on the World Channel, players are crying over missing out on Jiho's latest trade. They missed the meat completely, and now everyone is dumping their iron ore to buy in. Everyone wants a piece, shouting that brother Jiho is putting up another massive batch of food. How much food does this guy even have? Starving players who haven't eaten in 3 days are drooling. They can only dream of a meal, while Jiho hands it out like it's absolutely worthless. To them, Jiho is a god, and watch this, JQ leaks some insane news. Jiho has privately traded 1,000 grams already, proving his title as the absolute first is well-deserved. Jessica calls him a true tycoon, but Lu Hu steps up to defend his honor. A guy this powerful can't be a coward, he's just smart, knowing exactly when to strike. Wan Min asks what they are if Jiho is the cowardly one. So Hyen happily shows off her 500 grams of treasure chest meat. She admits she feels incredibly small. Meanwhile, his meat sells out instantly, securing piles of iron ore. Time to build. He crafts 5 iron ingots using 50 iron ore and 50 charcoal. He crafts the alloy shield using 3 copper, 5 iron, and 1 earth core. He adds a light magic core, 20 charcoal, and a liter of water to finish the recipe. The new blue shield comes out with an anti-rust coating, since he is level 6. And the goblin drug is still active. Lifting this heavy defensive gear one-handed is a breeze. His survival rate just shot up. Next, he pulls out the fresh wild boar blood. Time to cook. He lights a fire, stacks stones for a grill, and shapes a stone pot. He pours in water, dumps the boar blood, splashes some sesame oil, and lets it boil. The aroma is incredible once the thick soup begins to reduce. He carves a pair of chopsticks and a wooden spatula, scooping the meal into a bowl. He gobbles it down in massive bites. Right on cue, the system alerts him of his meal. Eating spiked boar blood boosts his maximum health by 20%, and he is not done. He wanted a perfect grade backpack, but couldn't find enough wind demon cores before. But now he has everything he needs, and the system immediately confirms the craft. He equips the new gear. His movement speed instantly jumps by 20%. His back is now as tough as solid leather armor, checking his reflection in the shield. He can clearly see the massive upgrade. This perfect grade gear is no cheap starter pack. It gleams under the light, looking like high-quality, heavy-duty black leather. Holding his shield, gripping his spear, and carrying that pack, he looks ready for war. Look at him go, fully geared. He heads into his 12th room, which is a massive herb field. He goes to town on the place, stripping it down to bare black dirt. He grabs 16 Changlu, 18 autumn crocus, 12 longjiang, and 13 gastradia. He also picks 19 purple mossed flowers and 12 thorn flowers. Armed with these glass bottles, he can brew massive batches of healing potions. He still needs rhubarb for anesthetic powder, but the system prompts are already updating. The layout reveals an orc wielding a stone axe ahead, guarding a rare god spawn. He can easily take down the orc with some strategy. Meanwhile, the left room is just toxic sewage. It is boil-safe but tastes like mud. The right room only offers awful spicy snacks. The brand is terrible, the upper path is unreachable, and the bottom route is spiked. Spikes would destroy his worn-out shoes instantly. Plus, this god spawn concept is totally new. Is it some rebellious offspring of the main deity who squandered the family fortune? Either way, the system prompts point straight ahead, and where they direct him, he goes. He keeps pushing forward, blindly following one prompt after another into the dark. Wherever the mysterious system prompts send him, he goes. He just keeps moving forward, following guide after guide. Step by step, he follows the system's directions, pushing deeper into the unknown. He faces a powerful but brainless orc. Keeping his shield steady will be enough to beat it. Unfortunately, his trashy, ordinary-tier weapon deals barely any damage at all. This battle will be a long war of attrition. The prompt warns him to act during the day. At night, the beast gains massive night enhancements and predatory vision. With only about 3 hours of daylight left, he pushes forward to find his green-skinned target. It is massive, drooling past its sharp tusks while muttering to itself. It is literally debating whether to steam him or stir-fry him with chili. The monster wishes more humans would show up, but he is not afraid. The labyrinth trained him well. He raises his spear, charges forward, and drives the tip straight into its chest. But against a thick-skinned monster, his low-quality weapon only inflicts a shallow scratch. The creature merely bleeds a little. Enraged, it calls him a mutt and charges forward. Despite its bulky, heavy build, the beast moves surprisingly fast. A massive stone axe comes crashing down. He raises his alloy shield just in time. The impact is brutal, but still much lighter than a magic fireball. He holds his ground. As the axe rises for a second strike, he thrusts his spear right at its vulnerable neck. Piercing the major blood vessels, the beast begins to bleed heavily from the wound. The next swing comes, and he blocks the heavy blade with his shield once again. Suddenly, the system screen screams at him to stop playing like it is a turn-based RPG. Seriously, even his own system is roasting his basic combat skills. He had completely forgotten the special stun effect of his alloy shield. Every time the beast swings, there is a brief delay as it resets its stance. That delay is the perfect opening. He absorbs the next strike on his shield, then pivots. Swinging the heavy metal shield in a wide arc, he slams it directly into the monster's skull. The ringing metal on bone clang is deafening. The creature wobbles, completely disoriented. It just stands there dazed. The system tells him to drop the spear and keep smashing. Gripping the shield with both hands, he unloads 7 brutal bashes on the helpless monster. A normal human skull would have been turned to paste by now, but this beast is tough. "Just die already," he yells, delivering an 8th crushing blow. The system confirms the kill. 8 strikes is his current limit. The beast lies dead with a caved-in skull. He selects Decompose. The rewards pop up, 5 pieces of meat and 500 milliliters of blood. He also gets a heavy axe and an energy stone. The meat is sour but edible. It will not quench thirst, but drinking this blood gives men a unique physical boost. The god calls this effect boiling blood, in other words, a total aphrodisiac. Our boy does not really need the help, but free stats are free stats. Next is the fine-quality stone axe, perfect for chopping down trees or splitting skulls. It has incredible durability and never needs repairs, though it lacks any special effects. Compared to his alloy shield, this tool is clearly inferior. High durability is not really a special effect, but he lacks a better weapon right now. So he takes it along anyway. Next, he searches the camp for the god's spawn. The orc's tent is just a ragged shelter, completely worthless to any average player. Inside the trashy tent, he finds a locked cage and a wooden chest. The god's spawn is trapped inside the cage, resembling a limp, motionless gray slime. The system identifies it as an excellent quality god's spawn ready for transplant. It enters a living creature's body to devour the host before being planted. Once in the field, it needs massive watering on day 1, then daily care. From there, it absorbs essence from water, moonlight, and the earth. Every 30 days, it grows meat equal to the water it consumes. Even the main god calls it flawed, a parasite to this labyrinth world. But to the players, it is a perfect meat-producing machine. A note warns that monsters hate it, and fire kills it easily. Our player almost laughs, turning water into real meat with 0 effort. Just keep it alive and enjoy. Since he loves barbecue, this is heaven. Pork, beef, lamb, fish, he loves it all, with only one veggie exception. He cannot wait to eat roasted chives alongside a daily mountain of meat. Slapping the god's spawn in his pack, he cracks open a nearby wooden chest. Just 1 earth demon core, 1 energy stone, pretty basic rewards. Searching the room, he finds a sheepskin bag with 2 liters of water. Perfect for watering his spawn, sunset is coming with only 1 hour left. The 14th room holds poison gas and a cheap chest, not worth it. Definitely not worth the risk. To his left is a giant forest rat. It wakes up at night, making any immediate entry a suicide mission. The right is a deadly swamp, go in and die, the top is empty. The bottom chamber has a small pond guarded by a lethal water monster. Instead of fearing the dangers, our player wonders about something else entirely. Can you blame him? He starts drooling over the thought of rat meat. He plans to plant the god's spawn on the sleeping rat by morning. He summons his survival base, builds a quick campfire, and prepares to cook. But with no salt in his inventory, his current meal tastes incredibly bland. Having only sesame oil, he decides to ask other players for help. Opening the regional chat, he complains that flavorless barbecue is absolute torture. He posts a request for spices, asking anyone with seasonings to message him. Instantly, the channel explodes. Gang Jun complains that he is still starving. Everyone else is starving, while our protagonist is literally crying over spices. Prince Crown laments that he just choked on earthworms and can't eat anymore. Lin Mong offers some salt, but only if they can share the food. As he skewers the meat over the crackling fire, a private message arrives. It is from Ryu Hyang, a level 3 elite in the region. He is much stronger than ordinary players and reaches out to trade. Calling our player an outdoor survival expert, he asks if he needs spices. Ryu Hyang insists he is being modest, offering 50 grams of salt. He also throws in 50 grams each of cumin, chili powder, and MSG. In exchange, he wants 750 grams of that raw goblin meat. Deal done, the system confirms the trade. He accepts without hesitation. Spices cannot fill an empty belly, but that meat is a lifesaver. It provides enough raw nutrition to keep him going for several tough days. He does not care about the bad taste. Survival is his only priority. In this place, nobody can afford to be picky. The spices arrive. He pours the seasoning straight out of the jars onto his cooking meat. The other guy keeps pressing, trying to pry into how he got his title. But he just brushes it off, telling him it was all pure luck. After ignoring the guy, he happily munches on his barbecue and boils some orc blood. He whips up a hot soup that somehow tastes exactly like lamb. Felt like his stomach caught fire as he drank it. Now, time to move. Approaching the left door, he notices the system prompt has finally updated today. The forest rat will sleep during the day, his absolute perfect opportunity. He plans to bring his phantom beast, but capturing it alive definitely requires some anesthetic. His beast egg still has 10 hours left. He wonders what Buja will look like. Shaking off the thought, he checks the anesthetic recipe, which requires rhubarb. Luckily, a seller is trading 15 portions for 250 grams of meat. He instantly dumps his sour, smelly goblin meat without a single regret. The more of that junk he can unload, the better. 15 rhubarb secured. This gives him enough to mix 3 doses of high-quality anesthetic. His raw materials could easily yield 6, but 3 is plenty. The item description says each dose requires a clean container of water. Watering it down too much will ruin the effect, and since dawn is far, he waits. He holds off on the mixing and opens his inventory to clean house. He decides to list his remaining goblin meat and some cheap orc meat since they are useless to him. He is going to need a mountain of energy stones and demon cores later. His castle consumes hundreds, so he lists his remaining meat for a single energy stone. Next, he puts up 20 portions of orc meat, trading for any basic demon core. He happily advertises that even if the goblin meat runs out, this is still available. Plus, he notes that this orc meat tastes much better than that disgusting goblin. Though honestly, it is still pretty sour. Time to deal with his heavy orc axe. He prefers a long weapon, so he lists the axe for 10 demon cores. He is also open to any equivalent polearm weapon in exchange. The regional chat erupts immediately, and honestly, the reactions are priceless. One guy complains about him whining while selling tons of meat. Another player calls him the absolute fiercest survivor in the entire world. Someone else offers a regular shovel, claiming it is a totally fair trade. He is that fierce. Over in the regional channel, a level 2 player laments his awful fate. He is being chased by a hungry wolf while our guy sells top-tier weapons. Talk about an insane gap between regular refugees and this absolute tycoon god. A player named Yusika even offers to become his woman right then and there. Meanwhile, Jui tearfully complains about opening a wooden chest just to find raw rice. Seeing his high-quality meat listings is honestly making her stomach growl like crazy. The sales start rolling in. Energy stones and rare magic cores fill his backpack. As the days roll on and player exploration deepens, the market will surely stabilize. But right now, he is the undisputed king of the entire supply line. Unsurprisingly, the orc axe sits unsold since 10 cores is an insane price. He adds a note welcoming alternative trades, and the private messages roll in. Many private messages roll in, mostly trash, with Dehan calling him his Korean. A flood of trash offers rolls in, with Dehan calling him his Korean brother. A fellow countryman types in broken Korean, insisting they must stick together and demanding the axe. He tells the man to keep dreaming. Next, Jack claims to be a U.S. Special Forces soldier. He offers an alloy shield to trade for the axe, but he already has one. Then Ahmed offers a magic happy cup, insisting that it has some incredible effects. He is not interested. Next, Takata Kyoko begs him to let her live. She promises to serve him if they return to the real world, but he ignores her too. Then Ryung Wang, a level 4 player, offers a fine-grade spiked club for the axe. He claims the club is too long and that the axe will suit him much better. Reaching level 4 without prompts is tough. Ryung Wang must have serious skills. He asks him to send the club's attributes, and he complies. The fine-quality spiked club deals blunt damage and partially ignores armor defense. Its spiked tips also trigger a special bleeding effect against light armor. The description boasts that with this club, every thug on the street will fear him. He envisions the shield in his left and the club in his right. It looks fierce. He agrees to trade, and Ryung Wang wishes him happy cooperation. The system confirms the trade. He closes his chat and heads to sleep. The system pings him awake. The egg is hatching in 59, 58, 57 seconds. He darts into the small room next door, finding the egg trembling on its nest. The nest incubator shakes, cracks form. The phantom beast is about to break out. His head is a bit dazed, but quickly clears as the cracking accelerates. 3 seconds, 2, 1. The system confirms he has obtained a divine blood tiger. This tiger has a divine bloodline, constantly breaking past its limits. As it evolves, a tiny tiger paw slowly stretches out of the shell. Soon the little cub fully emerges, staring curiously. It spots him and raises its head. It tries to let out a mighty roar. However, a baby cub cannot actually roar yet. What comes out is a soft, kitten-like cry. He lifts it, and it rubs against him. It is highly obedient. He is its master now, promising unlimited food if it stays loyal. He cuts fresh pork strips into 50-gram pieces to feed the hungry little beast. Labyrinth beast cubs do not need milk, they only eat meat. He opens its status panel. Its race is Divine Blood Tiger, classified as a warrior pet at Evolution Stage 1. Its skill, Giant Tiger Strike, boosts physical attributes for a high-speed pounce. It deals massive damage, perfectly balancing strength, agility, and physical power. It is the perfect warrior. The name field is currently blank, so he names it Buja. He proudly introduces the name to his pet. The cub, having finished its first bite, begs for more, completely oblivious to the rather underwhelming name he just gave it. It devours a whole kilogram of meat. He decides not to save the remaining wild boar. He expects to hunt God's spawn soon. Buja is domestic cat-sized, but far more solid. Stroking its tiny body, he can feel the muscle. It rolls onto its back with paws up. Paws in the air, they play happily. Before daybreak, he quickly eats a piece of bread. He drinks some water, and the sky lightens. He slowly approaches the door on his left. The prompt has changed. This new phantom beast is incredibly powerful. Combined with some anesthetic, hunting down a forest rat will be extremely easy. He mixes the powder with water, preparing to apply it to Buja's sharp little claws. He gently brushes the liquid onto Buja's claws. They are surprisingly large for a cub. He warns the tiger not to lick its paws. Buja chirps in response. He nods, entering the room. The prompt instructs him on how to bait the forest rat. Large burrows in the ground are its home. If he puts his weapon and shield in his backpack and runs along the burrow entrances, the rat will misjudge him as weak prey and rush out. The prompt warns him not to engage. Head on, the rat is clever and will retreat into its burrow if it senses strength. The system tells him to start running now and not worry about his back, because he has the perfect grade backpack protecting him. Buja, the little tiger on his shoulder, sniffs around and catches the rat's scent. He is worried about entering the room without a shield or weapon, but he follows the prompt and stashes both in his backpack. Without the weight of those items, his body is light as a bird, and the perfect grade backpack feels like it has a small jet engine behind him giving him a boost. The next prompt confirms, keep running. So the rat thinks he is weak prey, and when it chases, the little tiger will show its power. The prompt warns him not to underestimate the cub, it is fiercer. Then he thinks, he tells Buja to lie in the patch of grass over there and bite. The rat, when it chases him, Buja chirps and raises its head. He smiles in spite of himself. The cub's voice is hardly reassuring, but his goal is to capture the rat alive so the anesthetic can soak in. Buja lies in the grass and watches him. He thinks viciously to himself that tonight they will eat forest rat meat, and he takes off running. His footsteps crunch on the grass and leaves. First lap, nothing. Second lap, still nothing. Third lap, something is staring at him from behind, ready to strike. So tense, his intuition kicks in. Sweat runs down his back. His scalp tingles. He dares not look. Looking would slow him, and at his level, his speed matches a marathon runner, so he can run continuous high speed without exhaustion. Fourth lap, as he passes a tree hole next to a pine tree, a black shape blurs in the corner of his eye. Wind whips across his back and burning pain travels along his spine. The system tells him his back has been wounded. The perfect gray backpack absorbs most of it. His health drops only 5%, and the elf friend Ring's region begins repairing him already. The rat, judging him weak and easy, charges. He curses silently, the burning pain making his mind crystal clear. He counts down to 3, 2, 1, and the moment he reaches the patch of grass, he pivots, draws spiked club and shield in one motion, and prepares to hammer the rat into oblivion, but he does not need to. Buja roars, a true tiger roar this time. Immense power packed into a cub-sized body. It leaps and slams into the rat. Tiger arm striking with a giant tiger strike skill. The rat's skin tears under the claws. The strike's force throws it down, and it squeaks in pain and hurries into the nearest burrow before he can hit it. Buja wants to chase, but he stops it. Buja protests, angry that he was hurt. He tells it to wait for the anesthetic and then drag the rat out. They wait at the burrow entrance. 5 minutes. The elf friend Ring's region restores his health to full. The prompt confirms the anesthetic has taken effect. He tells Buja to go in and drag the rat out, patting its head. Buja answers and rushes in. About 10 minutes later it comes back, dragging the rat by the neck. The rat is trembling. 5 extremely deep claw marks across its back, on the verge of death. He is glad it is not dead. The rat is the size of a small calf, gray-furred within. He drags the meaty, long-tailed rat over to the field next to his cabbages. Since he has no knife, he uses Buja's sharp claws to slice open the abdomen. Next, he carefully places the strange god spawn directly into the open abdominal cavity. The system confirms the spawn is activated and is already devouring the rat carcass. The rat trembles, its eyes bulging, before completely dissolving into the god's spawn. The creature reappears in the form of a small tree right before his eyes. But this weird tree is covered in thick black hair, just like the rat. Beneath the hair, he can clearly see twitching blood vessels, and the system chimes. Activation is fully complete, meaning the tree will now produce edible forest rat meat. But there is a catch. A system message warns that the spawn is severely dehydrated. He must replenish its water within 1 day, or the plant will quickly wither. He pours 2 liters of water from the orc's sheepskin bag onto the field. The spawn drinks with an audible gulp, immediately growing over a meter tall. After adding another liter from his own reserves, round fleshy fruits begin to grow. The system confirms that 1,000 grams of mature forest rat meat is ready. He plucks a fruit, which contains the standard 1,000-gram meat portion. Buja sniffs the meat, eyes locked on it like an eager child, so he cuts off 500 grams. As the tiger tears in, he realizes raising this massive beast would be impossible without the god spawn. He lights a campfire to grill the rest of the meat, adding cumin and spices. The seasonings release a wonderful fragrance, and the grilled meat looks perfectly firm. It has a great chew, tasting like a mix of rabbit and bamboo rat texture. The first bite is pure warmth, followed by a sudden explosion of savory spices. With only one skewer left, Buja stares up at him with massive, craving eyes. He hands over another piece to his pet, then quickly finishes the rest himself. Since meat alone is not a full meal, he conjures a few steamed buns from the system. He really wishes he had a kitchen grill, because outdoor cooking is becoming a hassle. Barbecue is fine, but he needs lighter food, especially once his cabbage patch grows. He will definitely need a proper kitchen for stir-fries, but now it is time to move on. The next room has a stone chest, but it is guarded by corpse-eating sick dogs. That choice is not recommended. The left path has toxic thorns. They have red, date-like fruits that are highly toxic, and since he is currently shirtless. Because the magician burned his clothes off, entering means certain death by poisoning. The right path is boiling lava, and yeah, his fire resistance is way too low. The upper passage is 5 meters high, while the room below holds a riddle wizard. Correct answers yield great rewards, but any failure here means an incredibly severe punishment. He has seen these riddle wizards mentioned before, and they are always marked as dangerous. He quickly opens the global chat channel to search for more information. One player posts that he met a riddle wizard who promised him amazing rewards. But with a severe punishment looming, the guy just wished himself luck. Another player reports being cursed for a wrong answer and is now bedridden. He has been severely ill for 3 days with a splitting headache, waiting to die. Another user curses the wizard, demanding to know who designed this cruel system. He complains about being forced to answer or face being incinerated by fireballs. A lucky survivor barely got it right, only to receive a terrible prize. His grand reward was a bottle of actual sewage, while another player was forced to kneel. Most players end up begging the creator god's forgiveness, the punishments, usually. Disgusting curses. He knows that even with correct answers, the rewards are cheap. This wizard is stingy. He worries about what might happen if he fails. Waiting outside the door, he thinks carefully. A system prompt suddenly appears, allowing him to enter. Surely, the wizard won't make things completely impossible, so he should be fine. Still, he always prepares a backup. He whispers to Buja, the cute phantom beast curled on his shoulder like a kitten, to follow commands when things change. His club wave will be the signal. Buja chirps sleepily. Once he swings the club, the beast must activate its most devastating skill immediately. Buja answers with another small chirp. He takes a deep breath and opens the door, revealing a lush green path stretching ahead, lined with thorny fences and the sweet fragrance of flowers. Those thorns guarantee no escape. Players are forced to walk straight to the center, where the riddle wizard stands waiting above a high stone altar. The wizard calls out, mocking him as someone once spurned by the creator God. He demands he step forward, promising divine mercy and forgiveness. Standing about 1.7 meters tall and holding a wand, his face is hidden under a dark robe. Only yellow pupils peer out. He speaks like a priest, but warnings and past player experiences prove this friendly facade is pure deception. He warns that if he cannot answer, his crimes will quickly compound. His tone grows harsh. A new system message tells him to get as close as possible, shield and weapon ready. He steps right up to him. Buja sits up on his shoulder, watching warily. The wizard remarks on his cute phantom beast, calling him a powerful adventurer, and tells him that serving the creator god will bring him divine mercy and amazing strength. Sizing them up with surprise, he asks if answering is optional. The wizard shakes his head, saying he represents the divine will. Administering tests, he must answer. Any direct refusal means despising the creator god's absolute majesty, bringing down an even more terrible, devastating punishment. Grip tightening on his shield and heavy club, he plays along, telling him the creator god is amazing, asking to begin. The system quickly confirms the riddle wizard's trial is active, warning him to answer carefully. With a sinister laugh, the wizard promises the questions won't be too Difficult, all related to this labyrinth world created by his god, he explains. That as long as his exploration level is high, he can answer easily. Then comes the question, which of the four portable bases is classified as rare quality, a farmhouse, B manor, C castle, or D town? His yellow pupils gleam with a smug smile, sure he will fail. Honestly, an average adventurer would be completely lost here, since their exploration level is far too low. Most are still struggling for food, let alone learning about rare bases, but he is different, having already studied a rare blueprint of a castle. This question is a breeze to trick the wizard. He puts on a terrified expression. Seeing this, the wizard's grin widens, mocking him as a heretic and asking why he cannot answer. Warning of the incoming punishment, he begins a countdown from 10 while he feigns. He panics and shouts out option C, the castle. The wizard stands stunned, then scoffs. He sneers that it was just a lucky guess, warning him that his luck will run out soon. He adds that for disrespecting the creator god, a severe punishment is still coming. But the system confirms the correct answer, announcing that he will receive a special blessing. Once the blessing lands, his cowardly man title will change to Explorer of the World. The wizard raises his wand, chanting strange incantations as a cyan light glows. The light pours directly into him. He is already overjoyed as he checks the details. The rare Explorer of the World title has some seriously amazing effects. The normal effect boosts all experience gained by 50%, but the special effect is better. It makes neutral units much more likely to trust him. That 50% bonus is great. It is decent, but his system prompts already make his leveling insanely fast anyway. No, the real gem here is the neutral trust effect. It means fewer enemies overall. He will make more friends going forward. Normally, befriending neutral units is incredibly hard work. He had to risk his own life just to save Nicole, earning barely any friendship points. But with this new title, every sprite he meets will instantly become a friend. Every single labyrinth merchant he encounters along the way might offer him highly favorable terms. Every single neutral encounter will tilt in his direction. The system pings. The title updates. A new prompt orders him to immediately use his alloy shield. Bash the riddle wizard, reminding him that solving the riddle is only half the battle. To get the real ending, he must solve the person who created the problem. This catches him completely off guard. The quest is not over yet. This wizard has killed many. He was just incredibly lucky. Letting the mage live is too dangerous. If he does not kill this mage now, the wizard will always be a threat in this room. True safety only comes with his death. He lifts his heavy alloy shield. He slams it straight into the wizard's head, just as the mage finishes his spell. Solid metal connects with bone. The wizard's head snaps back, flying 3 meters away. He lands completely motionless. The system confirms a stun, time to strike while he is down. He swings his heavy spiked club directly into the wizard's chest, shattering his ribs. There is an audible crack. He is no tanky orc, just a fragile, weak mage. The blow is fatal. Still, the wizard slowly raises his staff one last time. He curses him, screaming that ambushing a priest of the creator god makes him a heretic. He warns that he will become the enemy of all living things. He cannot stop the spell. But he has his loyal pet, Buja. The little beast leaps forward from his shoulder. With a ferocious tiger roar, Buja violently tears the wizard's throat open with razor-sharp claws. The system confirms the kill, granting him a massive wave of experience points. He levels up from 6 to 8 instantly. He only needed a tiny bit to reach 7. But this massive boss kill completely rolls him through 2 full levels in an instant. His stats skyrocket. The heavy gear suddenly feels comfortable. They fit his grip perfectly now. His combat power feels sharper than ever. Buja, having completely exhausted its powerful skill, safely lands right back onto his shoulder with ease. Before, the little tiger could never make that leap. This is a clear sign of growth. Its combat power is rising rapidly. It is still small, but already matches a real tiger. As a divine blood tiger, its evolution is only beginning. He is in no rush to decompose. Instead, he kneels and pulls open the wizard's robe, finding a scaly face beneath. The system officially identifies the corpse as a lizard man riddle wizard. No wonder that disgusting wizard loved torturing human players, he thinks to himself. Then he tells the system to decompose it, receiving a black cloak. 5 pieces of lizard man riddle wizard meat, 500 milliliters of wizard blood, 2 earth demon cores, the first volume of Riddle Apocalypse, and 1 energy stone. He checks them. The common black cloak protects against the sun and scratches. The meat is hard and dry with minor toxicity, barely edible at best. The blood is too toxic to drink, but that Riddle Apocalypse is the real prize. This excellent grade book records answers to help when he runs into another riddle wizard, with more answers revealed by hunting down more of them, and collecting scrolls, brilliant, taking out the person who made the puzzle. Drops the reference answers directly. This means if he ever encounters another riddle wizard, he can just look up the answer, ace the question, then kill him anyway. He leaves to check his options. The forward room is a blazing copper hell, meaning certain fiery death. Behind him waits a 3-headed hellhound he is not strong enough to defeat yet. The left path holds an iron chest with decent loot. The right only has cheap wood. The bottom room is completely empty. Naturally, he heads left, choosing the safer, lucrative option. He enters a stony ruin, finding the iron chest tucked behind a stone wall. Fortunately, the system prompt guarantees the wall is stable, and the chest is no mimic monster. He cracks it open. Inside are 2 water demon cores and excellent tissue paper. Blueprints and 2 energy stones, not bad, but the tissue machine is what truly grabs him. Honestly, this solves a pretty awkward daily issue he suffered through since arriving here. The main god's harsh commentary about rough leaves ravaging his backside is something he definitely does not want to experience. He learns the recipe. It requires 10 wood, 2 iron ingots, 1 water demon core, 1 wind demon core, and a fire magic core. He quickly breaks down the iron chest into 3 iron ingots, completing the necessary materials. The system grants him the machine. It is the size of a white fridge, with a top-loading funnel and tissue dispenser below. 1 energy stone powers it for 30 days. 1 wood and 100 milliliters of water yields 20 sheets. He prints 100 sheets instantly. Combine this with the toilet he built earlier using Sanji's blueprint, which needed 5 stone, 1 water demon core, and a wind core for an excellent blow-drying toilet. It takes up 1 living space, relying on the wind core to blast air and the water core to flush. No mess, no smell. He is set for life. The description jokes that sitting there will make him wish for a phone and wireless internet. He does not have those luxuries, but he has everything else. The 2 living spaces in his farmhouse courtyard are now totally full. With the tissue machine and toilet, he cannot place any other magic installations. He will need to upgrade his base for more space. He makes a mental note of this and pushes onward to the 18th room, specifically to find water. The system prompt confirms a clean water stream flows below, alongside some ripe wild kiwis he can harvest. He is running dangerously low. The tissue machine uses 500 milliliters per 100 sheets, and the god spawn drinks a full liter daily. On top of that, he needs regular drinking water and general supply. His 2 tiny magic fountains are simply not cutting it anymore, so spotting water ahead, he steps inside and pulls out his 3 500 milliliter. He fills various bottles, the orc's 2-liter water bag too, ladling the channel water directly. Then he breaks them down. Straight into his backpack it goes. He repeats the tedious task. Process finished, not yet. He stops only when the stream becomes murky and undrinkable. Inside his pack, no container is needed. Extracting it, that is a different story. Otherwise, it simply spills. He collects 13 liters, a huge relief. Combined with the fountain, he gets breathing room, the wild kiwi fruits near the stream are rare. He harvests every single one, the system tags them. Zero guilt felt, flour and rice appear in chests, and meat comes off labyrinth beasts. Fresh fruits and vegetables are incredibly scarce. He has cleared 18 rooms. Fruit appeared in only 2, seeds only once. He cannot survive on staples and meat alone. Balance is crucial. The wild kiwi is a main god variant, fist-sized, sweet and sour. Highly edible, he refines an iron ingot from his pack into a crude knife to peel one, yellow-green flesh, bursting juice, absolute heaven. The sugary texture, the incredible pulp, it is easily his best meal today. He eats 6 in a row before stopping. 26 are left, he thinks with deep regret. It would be amazing to transplant these into his own farm. Plots, but the vines cannot be moved, chopped down only. They are just firewood. Without rare skills, he cannot transfer. And he plants back to his home base, leaving the vine intact. His stomach suddenly twists in knots. He rushes back to the farmhouse, straight to the toilet. Answer the call of nature. Buja insists on following him right inside, forcing him to physically push the creature back out before it finally gives up. Back home, he would have just scrolled on his phone, sometimes squatting too long until his legs went completely numb, leaving him unable to stand. Having a toilet is an absolute luxury now, though phone time is replaced by the chat panel. The global channel is in absolute chaos. Someone found an apple tree in his 7th room, sour tiny green apples, possibly inedible, but he tells everyone he is starving enough to risk eating poison as the next post wails. With jealousy over simple sour fruit, let us see how others are coping. Another survivor relies on rough, giant leaves for hygiene. His backend is raw. A second guy laughs, saying leaves are actually quite a luxury, and admits he uses rough wood instead. His backend is completely ruined. Wounded and battered. Further down, a third person chimes in that those two are lucky to even need a toilet, since he has not eaten anything yet. Over in the regional channel, Guai vents her pure frustration, claiming she thought reaching level 4 would close the distance, but then she checked his level 8 already. Kyonko quickly asks if Guai enjoys hurting her own morale by comparing herself to him, noting she only saw his level and missed his massive title upgrade, from cowardly man to explorer of the world. Yusuke jokes that his rise is not just impressive, but absolutely sky-high legendary. Ryu Hyung chimes in, admitting that goblin meat actually tastes perfectly fine when you are starving, comparing it to stinky tofu. Xianggu laments that the main character has already sold out of meat, wishing he would list more. He scrolls past the messages briefly. On the global chat, players are swapping survival tips, telling everyone to stay calm. They suggest rushing into battle with a shovel and poking chests. Poke it twice for mimics. Sounds smart, right? Wrong. And honestly, that advice is full of massive holes. A shovel works if you are fighting a weak goblin, but a spiked wild boar or an orc. Magician will easily wipe out any unprepared player. He respects those willing to die for their tips, wishing them better luck in their next lives. He closes the chat channel, finishes his business, and prepares to enter the 19th room. System prompts warn that the room ahead contains flesh-eating locusts. Even soft armor won't save him. Freezing cold awaits behind. Without winter gear, he will freeze, but to his right, a labyrinth sprite waits, offering a luck blessing. The lower path is a blinding, dusty sandstorm. A sprite right side. He glances at the elf friend ring on his finger. It automatically grants him blessings. Plus, his Explorer of the World title tilts neutral creatures in his favor. This combination should yield some incredible rewards. He slides open the right door. Ahead lies a gorgeous grassland in full bloom, covered in colorful wildflowers, with a tiny sprite fluttering her wings above it. As the door creaks open, she loses her balance midair and turns around. Quickly recovering, her face lights up with joy. She calls him her human friend and asks if he still remembers her. Introducing herself as Nicole, she flies over with a brilliant smile. he warmly greets her and offers a fresh kiwi fruit. She beams, calling him a wonderful person, before rushing forward to grab the treat. With both tiny hands, she is small and delicate but has a magic backpack. The fruit vanishes the instant she touches it. She happily explains that her mother and tribe warned her to stay far away from sneaky humans, claiming they are barely better than goblins, but she knows he is a true friend. Apparently, he has won the favor of the absolute creator god, parent of the sprite goddess, making him a welcome ally to all sprites. She then warns him about a notoriously greedy labyrinth merchant residing in the next room, telling him to avoid his shop because the prices are absolute robbery. He heeds the warning and asks if the merchant is hostile. She replies that while his prices are tripled, he never actively attacks anyone. Just then, a prompt fires. It advises him to visit this greedy merchant anyway. Hinting that he might walk away with some unexpected bargains, he smiles. That merchant can rip off others, but scamming him is completely impossible. He will pay him a visit soon. Nicole warns him to stay extremely careful. They chat for quite a while, revealing vital secrets about this bizarre labyrinth world. Apparently, the room layouts shift on a regular basis, and intelligent creatures like her possess an innate homing sense to locate their tribe anywhere. She also reveals that the labyrinth has gods. The supreme ruler, known as the creator god, commands from the very top, with lesser deities like the sprite goddess serving right beneath him. Countless neutral beings roam these halls, including sprites and shady merchants. Even to her, the riddle wizard remains entirely mysterious. Realizing daylight is fading fast, he bids her farewell, ready for the next room. And working after dark is dangerous. She looks disappointed, asking to bless him before he leaves. She has more to say, but there is no time. A white spiritual light shoots from her directly into him. It is a lucky blessing, boosting the rewards earned from defeating labyrinth monsters, opening treasure chests, and completing missions for the next 24 hours. She wishes him a safe journey and watches him leave as he waves back, stepping straight into the labyrinth merchant's private room. Another prompt appears, warning him that entering this room means meeting a merchant carrying many useful items, but this seller is incredibly black-hearted, marking up his prices extremely high. Direct purchases will drain his funds, but trying his luck with a draw instead might actually yield something good. The system gives him a serious warning, reminding him to never be soft-hearted when dealing with this merchant. The room itself is a small oasis inside the desert. Right in the center, a poplar forest flourishes over lush green grass, where a ground dragon covered green scales is quietly chewing. Loaded on the beast's back are various goods. Beside the dragon sits a middle-aged merchant wearing a sleeveless black vest and red cape, pinned under a massive greatsword, boasting bronze skin and a thick bronze beard. His hair tied up neatly. The system identifies him as Gabriel, the labyrinth merchant. He calls out a friendly greeting, introducing himself as a traveling labyrinth merchant with plenty of powerful gear, eagerly inviting him to buy. He calls our hero the first labyrinth adventurer he has ever encountered, and one carrying a title from the main god. Promising a generous 50% discount, Gabriel smiles warmly, but his mind is already calculating how much to squeeze out of him. His exact logic matches what Nicole warned. Since he is a traveling salesman who operates on hit-and-run tactics, he rarely sees buyers twice. Meeting him once in this vast maze is hard enough. Even if someone were unfortunate enough to encounter him again, the greedy merchant would gladly rip them off a second time without a single shred of remorse. Making money is his only goal, and he realizes he has a prime target standing right here. Our hero is decked out in high-tier gear. Even his backpack is top quality. Giving him away, he smells like sweat and roasted meat with a phantom beast tiger cub resting on his shoulder. Very few players can afford to feed a predator now. These beasts consume tons of food, but little Buja is currently napping on his shoulder, completely stuffed. Gabriel immediately pins him as some wealthy elite carrying plenty of resources to trade. He has encountered other adventurers, but they were all dirt-poor beggars, equipped with basic iron shovels, which he greedily traded them out of anyway. Themselves leaving those poor souls with practically nothing, he feigns curiosity and asks what items are available. Gabriel smiles obsequiously, unloading items from the dragon onto the ground. First up is an excellent greatsword, extremely sharp and capable of breaking through tough monster scales. 4. 10 demon cores or energy stones. Next is a special leather shield, excellent and lightweight, offering a block skill that leaves attacking enemies completely paralyzed. Price 15 demon cores. Up next, a perfect rocket belt, providing flight powered by energy stones for 50 demon cores. Then, a spicy hot pot base, activated by water, promised to trigger intense homesickness. Only 15 demon cores. Finally, a super magic cup designed to free the hands with its realistic texture and perfect weight for 20 demon. Gabriel is convinced he will buy. He thinks this nouveau rich kid will spend blindly money and get ripped off fiercely. Everything is priced at 3 times the normal rate. The rocket belt's actual material cost is just a few simple fire and wind cores. All the rest of these excellent weapons cost only 1 or 2 demon cores each. He even laid out food to confirm our hero is a foodie who will jump at the hot pot base, using a magic cup to target his basic male desires. Talk about a terrible reader. Gabriel honestly thinks he has this guy figured out. The system prompts display the actual normal price for every single item on sale. Sharp greatsword is 2 demon cores, leather shield is 3, and the rocket belt is 20. Spicy hot pot base is 1, magic cup is 2. He wants to laugh but holds it. He honestly wants to rip this scammer apart and destroy Gabriel, but not now. Playing along, he tells Gabriel his goods look amazing, but the prices are too high. Instead, he asks if there are any lucky draw items with random attributes available. He mentions his luck is pretty good, so why not try for a divine artifact? Following the system prompt, he asks Gabriel to set up a draw game. The merchant's eyes flicker for a second before his mouth curls into a greedy smile. He says that is even better. He absolutely loves bold adventurers who take risks. Gabriel claims his customer must be blessed by luck itself, calling him incredibly fortunate. Dozens of clay pots are pulled straight from his earth-walking dragon and laid out. As he sets them up, the shady merchant keeps stealing sneaky glances at him. Gabriel thinks that even if his target loses everything, he cannot blame anyone but himself. He is exploiting a loophole, completely hiding the actual probabilities of these pots. There is no mention of how many items exist inside, or if they are even real. In fact, those divine grand artifacts they discussed are not even in the pile. Gabriel plans to trigger a dangerous gambling addiction and make him lose his mind. He wants to turn our hero into a desperate, degenerate gambler. The plan is simple. Let him win some good items first to hook him. Once hooked, his luck will quietly dry up, forcing him to spend everything. After burning through his magic cores and energy stones, he will have to sell equipment. Gabriel will feed him crumbs to repeat the cycle until he has nothing left. The ultimate prize is Buja, the divine blood tiger, which Gabriel can resell for massive profits. 10 pots are set up, completing his trap stage, before handing him a hammer. The first one is free, and he can smash whichever pot he chooses. After that, each attempt costs 1 demon core or a single energy stone. Placing the iron hammer right in his hand, the merchant waits for the disaster. But the system prompt fires, warning him that the leftmost and 5th pots are completely empty. The rest actually hold high-value items. He hides his growing grin. Gripping the hammer, he announces his start and smashes the rightmost pot. The system pings instantly. He just scored a rare grade fire grenade blueprint. This allows him to craft grenades using pine resin, energy stones, and demon cores. They will detonate 10 seconds after the pin is pulled, dealing serious damage. The blast covers a 10-meter radius. He draws a breath, smiling faintly. This is a highly useful tool to give his overall combat power a major boost. If he meets a tough enemy, he can just toss this and burn them down. Gabriel eagerly urges him to keep smashing, promising he can pay later. Gabriel watches him, convinced he is hooked. His strategy to destroy someone starts by driving them mad. He sneers back, telling Gabriel the boss is generous and that he wants to keep going. Though happy about the new item, he forces himself to calm down immediately. His system prompt has already revealed that 8 of the 10 pots contain good items. An 80% win rate is impossible. This abnormality is the trap, and he sees the game. Gabriel is not being generous. He is simply luring him onto a path of no return. To ruin someone, you let them profit from their mistakes. Anyone else would fall for this. Gabriel would have succeeded, but he has the system prompt. He keeps an excited smile plastered on. Inside, he is perfectly calm. He lifts the hammer and smashes them from right to left. He opens all 10 pots, including the 2 empty ones, just as his prompt instructed. If he only smashed the pots with items, Gabriel would get suspicious immediately. To catch a really big fish, you have to cast a very long line. Turn the hunter into the prey. The system pings, awarding a special leather shield. Rare grade, he gets a rare spicy strip pack and 500 grams of common flour. Along with 1 liter of Yahaha mineral water, canned cola, and a rare hot pot base. The items are genuine treasures. Spicy strips, cola, and hot pot base are ultimate food luxuries. These will dramatically improve his life, while other players out there are eating dirt. He will be snacking on spicy strips, drinking cold cola, and enjoying delicious hot pot. However, that leather shield requires massive proficiency to ever be reliable. The shield itself is small, fragile, and has terrible durability. He wants to survive. That means he needs a heavy tank-style build, not some risky, fragile parry playstyle. The flour and water are just nice bonuses. Gabriel eyes him, asking if he wants 10 more. He places 9 demon cores and 5 energy stones onto the trading listing. He trades them over to Gabriel, since that very first pot was completely free. He enthusiastically agrees, offering 5 more energy stones to unlock an extra 5 pots. Gabriel shrugs and rolls his eyes as he sets out another 10 pots on the table. But these 10 pots are not meant to help him. They are designed for his absolute ruin. The next system prompt warns him, 3 are empty and 2 contain garbage items. It instructs him to open the leftmost, the 3rd, 4th, 7th, and 9th pots. This is the key. The system warns him to keep his head and not get lost. Because Gabriel is the one who is about to walk straight into his own trap. He cannot beat Gabriel in a direct fight, especially with a powerful earth dragon backing him. He must avoid a direct clash. With a laugh, he boasts about being blessed by luck. He starts smashing the pots. Gabriel sneers internally, enjoying the show. He thinks this fool is not blessed at all. Everything is perfectly calculated. Gabriel thinks he is the lucky one here. Talk about counting your chickens before they hatch. The hammer rings out, but this time, his luck does not seem to hold. The system pings, awarding a rare kitchen blueprint and rare, enhanced pet food, along with a perfect grade transmitter blueprint and a rare maze minimap. There is also mineral water. That kitchen blueprint is exactly what he wanted. It costs just 1 living space, while giving a nice aroma boost to meals. The description even notes that anyone who enjoys life deserves a proper kitchen. As a true foodie, he cannot stand the system's bland, flavorless cooking forever. It is always better to rely on oneself, so he decides to craft it later. He opens the enhanced pet food, and Buja stares with wide, whimpering eyes. The little cub is starving. This nutrient-packed pet food can easily replace his normal meals. Even better, using it for the first time boosts the pet's strength by 10%. The system description says even humans can eat it, though they will not get any buff. He tears open the bag and sets it down, making Buja squeal with joy. Right on cue, the system confirms Buja's strength has jumped by 10%. The maze minimap only scouts a small area and is practically useless to him. The real prize is a perfect grade blueprint. It is an interference transmitter that blocks mental attacks. It grants complete level 20 immunity and halves damage up to level 30. Better yet, it can block one major level 40 hit before breaking. In this early stage of the maze, a perfect grade item is a literal cheat code. It lets a player fight way above their actual stats, completely breaking the balance. His own perfect grade backpack has already proven its worth in the wild. He caught a rare pet and survived a deadly strike with only 5% damage. This new transmitter will let him easily slaughter mental-type monsters. The crafting materials are incredibly pricey, but thankfully, he is not the one paying. With Gabriel footing the bill, he casually asks to keep opening more jars. The merchant freezes in shock, still too dazed to realize how badly he is getting robbed. He blankly asks if he truly wants to keep pushing his luck. According to Gabriel's script, the customer should be desperately trying to win back losses. But as he checks the shattered jars, reality hits hard. A cold chill runs straight down his spine, and he nearly collapses on the spot. He only paid 9 demon cores and 5 energy stones for this. Yet the rare treasures he pulled out are worth astronomically more than that small fee. The greedy merchant is taking a massive loss, even though his math guaranteed a win. Now his face turns stiff and angry, completely unable to accept this outcome. Breathing heavily, he demands to know why his guest only opened 5 of the jars. The hero lies smoothly, claiming he already got all the good stuff. He insists the remaining pots are empty duds and asks to switch to fresh ones. Grimacing, Gabriel begrudgingly agrees and drags out 10 brand new pots to save his pride. Profit is everything. For a Labyrinth merchant, losing money is an unbearable humiliation. He actually has very few high-grade items left in his collection. He friendly calls him brother, admitting his previous inventory was mostly junk. To make amends, he promises to slip a few rare treasures into the mix. Of course, this supposedly lowers the overall odds, but he dares him to try anyway. The young man shrugged, saying his legendary luck makes standard odds completely irrelevant. Gabriel grits his teeth, steels himself, and pulls out his absolute best prize. He drops the perfect grade item inside, while our hero quickly sells 2 liters of water. This easily nets him 10 demon cores, right when his lucky buff is active. A new system prompt reveals that only the 5th jar from the left is loaded. Every other option is completely worthless, and choosing wrong will blow his streak. The system urges him to take the prize, warning that the merchant might lose his mind. To keep things believable, he decides to smash 3 random empty jars first. If he wins too easily, the merchant might just cancel the whole game. The system confirms 2 empty cups and 1 trash item, making him sigh in disappointment. He spots nothing but a useless magic cup on his screen, wondering if he actually even needs it. He demands that Gabriel swap the jars, demanding better merchandise since this batch is completely worthless. Gabriel's relief instantly vanishes as he grumbles about how demanding his customer has become. Still, he swaps them anyway. The next system message reveals a lone refined item. That rare refined sword sits inside the leftmost jar, the only good thing left in the entire shop. He cannot open that one. The system warns him to smash 3 others first. This lets the merchant make a tiny profit before the perfect grade item appears. He smashes 3 random jars, only to find absolutely nothing inside, making Gabriel relax. The merchant assumes his customer's luck has finally run dry, a smug grin slowly spreading across his face. But he demands another batch. Feeling confident, Gabriel eagerly rotates the jars once more. This time, Gabriel actually hides the perfect grade rocket built inside the new lineup. The system shows the coveted prize in the 3rd jar from the right. Everything else is empty. But a warning pops up. He cannot just point and grab the prize without causing a scene. He needs to smash empty jars to avoid suspicion. He quickly sells more water. And here is the crazy part. He takes the ultimate leap and opens every single jar at once. He yells out that there has to be something good. Gabriel's expression instantly sours. The merchant figured he would only buy a few rounds. Suddenly, the system alert chimes. The rocket belt is found. Before the stunned merchant can even react, he grabs it. The item is securely in his hands, granting 10 extra inventory slots upon acquisition. It also provides defensive protection equivalent to wearing sturdy light armor. One energy stone allows him to enjoy continuous flight for 10 full minutes. The system description jokingly suggests he might enjoy blasting off with his pants on fire. He takes the belt, chooses not to equip it, and walks straight out. Still walking, he casually calls back over his shoulder to thank the incredibly frustrated merchant. He explains that since his demon cores are completely gone, he will call it a day. He walks into an empty hallway. A system warning urges him to get moving. Once Gabriel recovers from the shock, he will use force to take his items back. Meanwhile, the merchant stands absolutely frozen in place, staring blankly at his completely cleared-out shelves. He screams curses into the empty room, calling the thief a miserable bastard. Affinity titles only do so much. When pushed too far, NPCs will resort to violence. This is the biggest loss of his career, a sting far more painful than any betrayal. He glares down the corridor, his face burning bright red with pure anger. Gritting his teeth, he wants to hunt him down, but his target is already long gone. Finding anyone in this massive labyrinth is practically impossible. The next chamber is grassland. It is filled with wild weeds and insects. He sits, thinking of how incredibly close that was. A second later, and that greedy merchant would have snapped. He collapses onto the grass, letting the cool wind dry his sweat-drenched skin. He carefully fastens the sleek silver rocket belt around his waist. It feels surprisingly light. The system confirms the item is equipped, though it currently lacks the energy to fly. Only passive buffs are active for now. It needs an energy stone to operate. Unfortunately, he has absolutely no stones or demon cores left in his possession. That lottery completely cleaned out his pockets, meaning he must sell more gear to recover. But he already sold 3 liters of water earlier, and he cannot afford to lose more. Without enough water, his creatures will dehydrate and fail to grow meat. Plus, he and Buja both need to drink. He has to find a different solution. He anticipates situations where water is a must, so he gets to work opening his latest haul. 5 pieces of lizard meat, blood, and a Riddle Apocalypse volume. Add a custom leather shield, flour, mineral water, and spicy snack packs. He also pulls some canned colas, spicy soup base, and a map. A magic cup, rocket belt, and some blueprints. The kitchen emitter is already learned and off the list. Among these new treasures, he can sell the lizard meat, shield, and magic cup. The rest is all keepers. That cold can of cola is pure happiness. Back in the real world, he needed a daily bottle, and in this dark maze. Going without it was a constant, heavy bummer. Now, the soup base is another. Absolute game changer. He still lacks a proper kitchen, and basic system meat is terribly bland. Slicing meat into this rich broth is going to taste absolutely incredible. The spicy strips bring back childhood memories of making a single pack last all day. Modern ones are far too sweet, but these have that classic kick. There is absolutely no rush to load an energy stone into the rocket belt. Food comes first. He grabs his stone pot, fires it up, and gets to cooking. Since his wild boar meat is completely gone, he needs to secure a quick harvest. He waters his god spawn with 3 liters of water, growing 3 kilograms of rat meat, bujas. Pet food is empty, but the cub happily eats another 2 kilograms. Buja's power is rapidly rising, and so is its massive, growing appetite. He marvels how without his god spawn, he would ever feed this gold-devouring beast. The water boils, the red seasoning melts, and a rich fragrance spreads. He drops thin slices of forest rat meat into the bubbling pot. It cooks fast and tastes absolutely heavenly. These past few days have brought constant surprises. But sharing a hot meal with his pet brings him the greatest comfort. Buja snuggles up close, licking his face with its soft, tiny cub barbs, though rough. It tickles his cheek. He quickly fills a separate bowl for his little buddy. Buja settles down and dives in. He is certainly not stingy with the portions. Adding another massive plate, he scrolls chat while eating, completely content. On the World Channel, players are crying over failing to tame forest sprites. Others mock them, pointing out that magical creatures always fight back. Many beg him to return to the market with more water and meat. Some guess what he is eating, dreaming of roasted meats, bread, or rice. Starving players tell them to shut up before they choke on dirt. He pops the tab on his cola, draining the can in seconds. The refreshing, fizzy bubbles hit his throat, leaving him completely satisfied. Talk about a massive luxury upgrade in this dark maze. He switches channels. A player named Bayan groans about meeting a ruthless labyrinth merchant named Gabriel. This greedy trader swindled him out of his best gear. Ganghan tells him to go find a toilet to cry in, then Yumun chimes in, saying Gabriel is practically red-eyed with anxiety, begging to find him. He calls him an elusive phantom. Sanjian posts that the merchant hit him up too, wondering what he did to drive an NPC this crazy. Yusuke replies that it is a complete mystery, and that nobody can truly comprehend the world of a high-tier player. The usual chaos. The regional chat is in high spirits, with everyone discussing him and Gabriel, but Gabriel is hunting him without luck. He will never find him in this labyrinth. He is stuffed. Buja lies on the ground with its bloated belly, legs up in the air, eyes squinting. The hot pot base description tells him it is of excellent quality. It makes food taste better and is reusable, though each use degrades the flavor. Even the main god notes the final taste is unknown. He will not boil it twice. It would not taste good and it is unhealthy. He is about to pour it out. Suddenly he catches himself. He forgot something, although he is not short on food and dislikes reused soup base. Things are different for other players. Even used hot pot base is delicious in their eyes. Any ordinary food thrown inside becomes delicious. This pot of soup can still be sold. He lists it on the auction, diluted with water. 8 portions of 200 milliliters each for 2 demon cores, or 2 energy stones per portion. He does not list the entire pot in one shot. Diluting it gives him more cores per liter. The chat channel detonates once again. The World Channel marvels. This guy is literally playing a different game. They cannot believe he is selling one spoiled hot pot soup base while they are stuck eating dirt. The gap between survivors is huge. Someone who thought he was a cut above for finding meat gets a total reality check. Truly no mortal can stand shoulder to shoulder with a god. They should stop dreaming, stop drinking, and eat more peanuts. Someone notes his listing comes with the anti-cola can and calls him incredibly stylish. In regional chat, Jui begs to hug his thigh for just a bit. Nickel remains convinced he must be a Korean ancient martial arts grandmaster. Gu and Sun Byung puzzle out that the labyrinth merchant must have been scammed by him. Han Moan calls him the man she likes and approves of striking against the black-hearted merchant, calling him a little cow sitting on a rocket awesome to the sky. He smiles. He had wanted to keep the merchant business private, but it has leaked, which he finds pretty boring. The hot pot base sells slower than meat. It is a luxury item requiring strength and surplus resources, and few players are at that level yet, but it sells. He is not in a rush. Meanwhile, he adds an energy stone to the rocket belt, and the system charges it. 10 minutes of flight time, mind controllable. He lifts off. The 8 direction jets whisper as he rises. His choices have just multiplied. High passages he previously could not reach, and rooms like poison swamps where he could not move on the ground are now easy options. He had suffered from this a few times, missing some great items. Not anymore. The flight feels absolutely incredible, but he does not stay up. 1 stone is only 10 minutes, and he has to save those Minutes for critical moments. Night falls. He sleeps peacefully in the base. In the morning, he waters the god's spawn and feeds Buja its meat. Buja chirps in satisfaction. As it eats while he eats some steamed buns himself, the cabbage in the base is growing well. In 3 days it will be ready. By morning, the hot pot soup base is all sold. 2 earth demon cores, 2 water demon cores, 2 fire magic cores, and 2 energy stones. That is not bad. He does not rush to the next room. He opens the Labyrinth mini map. The mini map is poor as a tool, showing only a small area and useless past the radius, but he should use it while he has it. The map marks 5 stone chests, 3 wooden, 1 iron, and 1 bronze in the area. It also marks resource. He spots water pools, coal mines, and monsters. But map markings are pretty unreliable. Beasts always move. An antlered beastman should be here. Instead, just empty grass. He already finished grazing and left. Luckily, treasure chests do never move, though. He can still find them, targeting the bronze chest first. Last time, he got rare items out of it, using his treasure radar. But without those specific rules, this chest might be completely ordinary. He is still curious. The next prompts show a beast man lies ahead, wielding a giant blade beside a stone chest. With Buja, he can take it down easily. It is his quickest path to that bronze chest. The left holds a throwing goblin pack guarding a wooden chest. It takes effort, but the rewards are massive. The slow route. The right path is empty, and the road ahead looks rough. Upwards are poisonous wasps. Downward is totally empty, making it the safest route. 3 choices: fast, rewarding, or safe. He picks the high-risk left path. Bold move, but the system immediately warns him. That goblin swarm is huge. Even with his shield up, his back is exposed to throwing rocks. The system suggests using his rocket belt to fly high above them, then dropping a fire grenade. The prompt calls it justice. He has the blueprint learned already. He is just missing the materials. The recipe needs a fire magic core, 1 energy stone, 1 iron sheet, and 50 milliliters of pine resin. He already has the cores and stones. For iron, he scraps his iron shield for 2 sheets. He lacks pine resin, but the auction house has some. 200 milliliters of resin for 200 milliliters of water. That is incredibly cheap. He buys it and crafts 2 grenades, even though he only needs 1. A backup is wise. The system crafts 2 fire grenades. He tells Buja to hold on tight to his shoulder so it does not fall off. The little beast just chirps, completely indifferent. He slowly cracks open the door. The system warns him to stay quiet. The hinges barely whisper. The room opens. A grassy forest path lined with wooden barrels. A heavy, sweet smell of alcohol fills the air. The goblins are completely wasted, slumped right beside the barrels. A single throwing goblin is pretty weak. Any fast player can take 1 out, but they always swarm. There are 8 of them here. If he attacks just 1, the rest will wake up and slaughter him. Time to climb. But the prompt warns him not to throw the grenade yet. Do not waste it without hitting every single monster. He must draw them together first so the explosion catches the whole swarm. The system directs him to the nearest goblin and tells him to slip close and execute it with his spiked club. He calms his breathing and inches closer. Suddenly, the sleeping goblin raises a dirty finger to pick its nose. Talk about a close call. He freezes instantly mid-step. After a few scratches, the beast rolls over and sleeps again. He lets out a quiet sigh. He slips closer until the monster is in club range. Suddenly, the goblin opens its eyes, grumbling about the hot weather while reaching for its water bag. It locks eyes with his face and shrieks a loud alarm, screaming for the others to wake up and throw rocks. He curses and swings his club. The head flattens, dead as can be, but the other goblins, they instantly wake up, eyes bulging at their dead comrade, and yell that they will avenge their fallen brother. They grab stones from baskets and hurl them at him. He tells himself to launch and raises the alloy shield while his rocket belt fires. His body rises slowly. Stones the size of steamed buns hit the shield and the rebound is huge. His horizontal position drifts back, but vertical lift is unaffected. The goblins shriek that they cannot hit him and rush underneath him. Even the shield cannot block volleys from below. He stores the shield and the climb speeds up. A few more meters and he is out of stone range, but a stone hits his calf as he rises. Slow at this height, the kinetic energy is mostly spent. His health drops by about 1% and the calf goes red, but his combat is unaffected. The prompt tells him not to go too high and to maintain this altitude. His instinct is to climb out of range, but if he does, the goblins will scatter and he will have to lure them again. He keeps just at the limit where the stones reach, but lose all force on impact. The goblins, finding they can hit plant themselves and throw without moving. He thinks to himself with a righteous smile that they can throw all they want, and he pulls the fire grenade. He kisses the grenade, then pulls the pin. The next prompt warns him to wait 5 seconds or the goblins will see it falling and run. The system counts down 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. He thinks to himself that they can eat this and releases it. The grenade accelerates downward. The goblins are oblivious, thinking it is just a stone. One goblin says that the stone seems a bit different while watching the black thing land beside them. Another bolts, shouting that it is a magic grenade and to run, and then the grenade detonates. A flame fountain consumes 7 goblins gathered together. Shrapnel within 10 meters peppers the ground. Wooden barrels are pierced. He is untouched. The flames burn on the corpses. Luja makes a frightened sound against his ear. He tells it not to be afraid and strokes its head. A grenade is invincible in the early stages. The system pings 2 dark magic cores. 1 silver ingot. Only 2 items inside a wooden chest. Talk about a pretty disappointing drop. He wonders if his luck is really that bad and checks the silver ingot. The description says it is perfect grade and can be used to design high-end magic items. Perfect grade, he will be able to use it later, so he stores it and walks to the corpses. The goblins are charred and half-cooked. The system asks whether to decompose. He decomposes them and gains 19 pieces of carbonized goblin meat and 27 throwing stones, 7 energy stones. The fire grenade definitely reduces drop quality. No goblin blood, no water bags from their belts. Items that should have dropped are gone. The carbonized goblin meat description warns that goblin meat is already unpalatable, and after being cooked like this, it is even worse. Throwing stones can be thrown at opponents and have pretty miraculous effects in special situations. He moves to the goblin he killed personally with the club and decomposes him. 5 goblin meat, 500 milliliters of goblin blood, 1 energy stone, 1 small water bag, and 1 wind demon core. The personal kill drops more. The system gives no experience for grenade kills, but does for the club kill. Otherwise, 7 goblin throws would have leveled him already. The grenade is a shortcut. The game balances by reducing items and skipping experience. Totally fair. The next prompt comes, warning him not to be in such a hurry to. A system prompt tells him to pay close attention to the wine barrels. The grenade blast pierced every barrel with shrapnel, but nothing flowed out. They seem completely dry, but since the system prompt hints at good things, he decides to check. He lifts each barrel to check their weight, finding one that is unusually heavy. He carefully opens the lid, and a sweet aroma of strawberry wine immediately washes over him. It makes him feel incredibly relaxed and drawn in. About 1 liter of pink wine remains. The system identifies this drink as excellent grade wild strawberry wine. It replaces water, and drinking 100 milliliters grants a 30% strength buff for 60 minutes. The description says it tastes like wild strawberries, but causes drunkenness in large amounts. Eager to try it, he pours some into a bowl to take a sip. The sweet, warm alcohol hit is absolutely fantastic. In total, the system registers 1.1 liters of wild strawberry wine for him. He packs away all the barrels, including the empty ones, for future use. They will be perfect for holding liquids later. The system prompt directs him forward. A stone chest sits in the next room, marking the highest reward path toward a bronze chest. Going left means facing a minotaur that would easily gore him before he could even escape. The right path is empty, the top is trapped, and the bottom is guarded by archers. Those goblin archers would turn him into a literal pincushion before he cleared range. Holding his small map, he heads forward into a forest room with a stone chest. Just then, the prompt flashes a warning that this chest is actually a disguised monster. Talk about a close call. His heart pounds at how close he came to danger. If that warning had arrived a second later, the creature would have bitten his hand off. The next prompt advises him to grab his spiked club, sneak behind it, and strike hard. He whispers to Buja to attack with full power once the monster transforms, and the pet nods. Storing his shield, he raises the spiked club high with both hands. He brings it crashing down. The chest jerks awake, sprouting long limbs and a fanged mouth. Before the beast can fully rise, he slams the heavy club down on its leg joints. The monster collapses instantly. That is when Buja leaps off his shoulder with a massive strike. With one devastating tiger claw slash, the creature's entire body is sliced cleanly in two. The system confirms the kill, immediately pushing his level from 8 up to 9. When asked to decompose the corpse, he pauses and reaches inside its mouth first. Inside, he finds a radish seed that can grow giant white radishes in just 5 days. Pulling a seed from a stone chest is actually a massive stroke of good luck. Player tips mention that these chests usually drop only food, water, or weak cores. He decomposes the treasure chest monster, gaining 3 stones and some beast meat. 1 energy stone is also gathered before the next prompt tells him to move ahead. Man-eating sunflowers grow ahead during the day, so entering now means certain death. Still, this remains the most rewarding path leading straight to the bronze chest. Going left means dealing with explosive bugs, while the right path is completely empty. The top route has a wooden chest but leads to extreme danger, while the bottom is toxic. He decides to wait out the daylight, knowing the sunflowers will not spot him at night. While waiting, he pulls out a special package of spicy strips to pass the time. Tearing open the dragon brand Didao meat, a long-lost fragrance immediately fills the air. Taking a big bite, his mouth is instantly filled with a rich, burning spiciness. He washes it down with a sip of cold cola, absolutely refreshing. Beside him, Buja reaches out. A furry paw reaches out and snatches his second piece, dropping it in the dirt to devour it. Right off the floor, Jiho tells the beast that as expected, it has 0 sense of hygiene. He won't eat the dirty piece, but Buja isn't picky, and other players are eating worse. He scrolls through the chat while eating. The World Channel shows a pretty grim update. Some poor guy is tied to a goblin spit, getting roasted, while helpful players give advice. They tell him to bite his tongue and end it. Another warns everyone they are not Jiho. Avoid labyrinth monsters. Meanwhile, over on the regional channel, Ryu Hyang pings. Jiho's level 9 status is shared. Jashin marvels at how the gap only grows. A player named Shrek notes that Jiwi is now 5 levels behind him. Behind him, the channel dropped from 1,000 to 683 in days. Whether those missing players died for good or moved on, nobody really knows. The cola is empty, the spicy strips are almost gone, and Buja shares the rest. Jiho grabs a barrel of strawberry wine, pours a bowl, and drinks it down. He feels instant strength. Suddenly, the left door opens and 2 players enter. One player tells the other that these weird leaves actually do not taste bad. They are a bit bitter, but his stomach doesn't hurt and he feels full. The speaker is a young punk named Museng, sporting a massive dragon tattoo on his arm. He has the distinct face of a hoodlum. The other player, named Hyunki, smiles and tells him of course they are safe since he studied herbalism. He explains that patterned leaves are completely non-toxic and can easily replenish their energy. They are starving and pretty unlucky. After clearing several rooms, they have barely managed to find any food. Without Hyunki, Museng would have starved, but suddenly a distinct scent drifts by. The delicious smell of spicy strips hits his nose, and he alerts his companion. He wants some real spicy strips. These leaves taste like absolute wax to him. Hyunki sets his leaves down, asking if he smelled it too. Irritated, he crushes a flower and wonders how there can be spicy strips in these woods, or if someone else is sharing this room with them. Following the scent, they spot Jiho as he picks up his final 2 pieces of meat. One piece goes into his mouth, the other to his pet, Buja. Empty packaging is littered everywhere, making the 2 newcomers green with envy. Normally, they would have started a massive fight, but they recognize him instantly. He is Jiho, the ultimate explorer of the world, currently at level 9. Everyone knows he is untouchable, selling water while others die of thirst, feasting while others starve, and casually slaying monsters while others run. The chat speculates he is a wilderness expert or special forces soldier, or a martial arts grandmaster. Jiho greets them, saying players are rare. He pulls out a clean tissue, wipes his hands, and tosses it aside, musing. Curses internally at how insane such wastefulness is in a survival zone. Where rough leaves are the only option, he wonders if soaking that tissue in water to eat it would taste better than leaves. He is already planning to lick the spicy red oil off the empty wrappers. Hyunki quickly pulls Musang forward and greets Jiho as a huge fan. He explains that they have some demon cores to trade for food. He politely asks if he takes them. Jiho simply stares back at him. In the real world, he would have avoided a thug like this. Here, he does not care anymore. He tells them to open the trading system, mentioning he happens to have some goblin meat to spare. Hyunki pulls Musang closer to him, asking with all the curiosity he can possibly muster. He wonders if this goblin meat is the same kind of low-grade food sold last time. He asks if they could trade for a different kind of meat because that stuff tasted awful. He claims they are his biggest fans, treating him like a god in their eyes. Musang has no idea why Hyunki is stepping so close, but he notices a dangerous shift. Seeing a ruthless glint, he stops talking and watches the situation with deep concern. Hyunki had once bragged to him about being a major player back on the old streets. People called him 9 Blades because he had hacked 9 people for his former boss. The guy loves danger, promising Musang that as long as they stick together, life will be good. Looking over, Musang silently wonders if murder and robbery can actually work out here. Hyunki sizes him up, concluding he is just an ordinary guy who got a little lucky. He laughs internally at the fools hyping him up online, calling them absolutely hilarious. Today, he will slay a god, completely convincing himself of his impending victory. Outwardly calm but mad with greed, seeing the fat orange cat on his shoulder drives him. He tells himself that once he disposes of this guy, he will skin that cat next. He believes his act is perfect, even using a fire magic core as trade bait. He has sliced people up before for his boss, always getting away clean. After all, he genuinely considers himself to be a master-class actor. But the warning prompt flares up, telling him to beware of these 2 suspicious characters. He cannot help but smile. If they are just trading, why are they getting so close? Their eyes are full of malice. When things are this off, something is definitely wrong. Crossing his arms, he wonders where they get their courage. Musang is only level 2. Hyunki is only level 3, while he is level 9 with terrifying stats. His strength, speed, and skin toughness are far beyond any normal human limits. With his bare hands alone, he could easily wipe out an entire crowd. Plus, his health bar has grown from a single segment to 3 full bars. His actual life force is 3 times higher now. Are these fools blind or what? Maybe they have some trump card. Either way, he prefers to play it completely safe. His alloy shield and spiked club can be pulled from his inventory in a split second. If they dare to make a move, he has no intention of playing nice. He does not hunt other players, but if they actively seek death, he won't hesitate. Letting them get close is actually part of his trap. They cannot escape from here. Suddenly, a third voice asks if the smell of spicy snacks is just a hallucination. Hyunki spins around in shock. Another player has just entered the room. He curses silently, furious that someone would interrupt him at this exact moment. His inner madness boils over as he yanks a white-edged long saber from his inventory. Roaring like a beast, he calls our guy trash and promises to slaughter him today. Years of brutal street fighting tell him that this is his golden opportunity. With the target's attention split, a single decisive blow from behind will end it. He boasts to himself that his high-grade saber will easily slice his target in two. Ferocious and filled with pure violence, he pours every ounce of strength into the swing. With weapon in hand, he genuinely believes he can cut down anything, even a god. A heavy alloy shield blocks the strike, sending massive force right back. Not flesh, not bone, he already has his alloy shield and spiked club ready. A deep scratch slices his alloy shield. He sneers in response. The saber is excellent. No wonder the fool dared to strike. Honestly, our guy does not even take. Hyung-kai seriously, though. The panicked thug screams for Mu-sung too. Hurry, no honor here. First in ambush, now calling. For backup, he was just a street thug, so expecting any morals from him is completely useless. He sneers that begging is pathetic, asking if he even stands a chance. He firmly grips the heavy shield in his left hand and the spiked club in his right, armed with the full power of a level 9 player, he strikes. Bones shatter with a sickening crunch. The defeated thug flies 3 meters and crashes down, his saber sliding away. Look at his health bar, down to a sliver. He desperately gasps for Mu-sung to strike. Broken bones everywhere, but he clings to one last hope. If Mu-sung charges now, he can delay the next strike. That might buy enough precious time for Mu-sung's heavy shovel to take his head. Mu-sung screams, vowing to kill him, swinging his shovel with both hands in a diagonal slash. His neck, meanwhile, Buja sits right on his shoulder, glaring down at Mu-sung with absolute contempt. Buja activates Giant Tiger Strike, claws flashing. Mu-sung's chest rips wide open, blood sprays. He stares at Buja in sheer disbelief. He really thought this beast was just a fat orange cat. Then he drops dead. System pings. Mu-sung is dead. Loot includes an iron shovel and unknown Leaf with minor experience. He looks at Hyung-kai, who is begging now.